The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hang on a second, let me try again. No, let me try again. Hang on a second. There we go, you see. So I don't know anything about Marky Smith. I don't know anything about The Fall. All I know is The Fall has had more members than any other band. And I know that Marky Smith could be troublesome, as all of rock's greats are. I know that people love the band. I don't know anything about them. All I know is Hit the North. That's it. That's it.
Didn't he get taken ill on stage one day and decided to do the whole thing from inside his dressing room?
Sure, why not? Why not? It probably happened. Let's create that myth. If you know anything about Marky Smith and The Fall, then give me a call. Hey, I'm a poet and I didn't realise. 0344991000. You'll speak to James and he will take your name and number and he will call you back. That's how it works. So it is one of my huge glaring omissions in my pretty comprehensive knowledge of music. Don't know anything about Marky Smith. I don't know anything about The Fall. Of course, now that he has died, I've just ordered his autobiography, 58 pence on Amazon, before it rocketed up, bless you, before it rocketed up to £2.50, as they do. They put the death tax on. So, but I'll be honest, I've got about 60 books ahead of that one that I need to read. So if you can call in tonight and fill me in, please, on Marky Smith and The Fall. And I'll be honest, you could phone up and say anything about him, because I believe anything is possible with that gentleman. So if you want to phone up and make up myths, then please do. It's going to be a music kind of themed show tonight, because a lot of the papers have got the story that we were talking about yesterday about Neil Diamond, so we'll probably talk about Neil Diamond again. And then I noticed on Twitter that Milli Vanilli were trending. And there was someone was tweeting the story of Milli Vanilli, one of the greatest. I was going to say pop shams, but all pop is a sham. No one complained about the Archies being a cartoon.
I think the difference with Milli Vanilli was they didn't know they were a sham until they were too deep into it.
Yep. So are they dead now?
Well, one is, yeah.
What happened? I know the London boys are dead. They died in a car crash.
Accident.
So what happened to Milli or Vanilli? We don't know which.
Milli or Vanilli. I think his name was Ron.
Yes.
Drink and drugs overdose.
That's a shame. The other one's still alive.
Yes.
Let's get him on the show. Let's get him on the show.
Let's see.
That'll be a fascinating story, because it was the same guy behind them who was behind Boney M. But I didn't realise that there was a guy behind Boney M, that the singer wasn't that weird black dude, it was a weird white dude. It was all this German guy, Frank somebody. You can tell I really paid... not in the ear, James, thank you. You can tell that I really paid attention to the whole story as it was going on, can't you? So you can call in about Milli Vanilli if you want. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. And also Sir Elton John, a man who I have asked... this is a true story. I turned to Elton John and said, "Here, mate, who's in charge of the bouncy castle?" That's a true story. And you know that's a true story, Catherine.
True.
"Here, mate, who's in charge of the bouncy castle? Do you need a ticket?" And Elton John went, "I don't know. I think he's gone over there somewhere." That's a true story. So Elton John has announced his farewell tour, which is, it's kind of sad. I'm not a huge Elton John fan, but I can dig some of the songs, and certainly one of rock's biggest stars. And so I thought, oh, that's sad. He said, but man alive, it's some tour. It starts this year and ends in 2021 or 22, I think. And you want my prediction? It'll be extended. Now, normally, what the reckoning behind these things usually is, people announce a tour and ticket sales aren't doing so well, so they go, yes, sorry, I forgot to say, it's the farewell tour. Oh, my God, we'll never see this person ever again. Let's go and buy those tickets. So that's, to me, seems like an incredibly long, drawn-out farewell tour. Like Kiss the band have been doing farewell tours since, get this, 1997. Really have. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to... Oh, God. Oh, God. Please shoot me now.
What's the matter?
Oh, I've had an email.
From the person who said he'd never email again?
No! I'm really close to banning all callers to this show because I've really had enough. I've had enough. Oh, okay. Hi, not happy. 2 out of 3 times I've had the phone put down on me lately. Isn't good radio station. Guess who that's from?
I've no idea.
That nice lad Iain.
Right.
Oh God, everyone. Here's the deal, guys. Everyone gets the phone put down on them, right? Everyone gets the phone put down on them.
We can't fade you out.
No. And with the greatest of respect, Iain, you phone up and I see you on my switchboard and then I see you off my switchboard and then I see you on my switchboard and then I see you off my switch. You hang up, causing problems for the people who answer the phones throughout the whole evening. And also, you had a fair crack at the whip, man. Jeez, I just can't.
For ages.
Oh, God, I just can't do this job anymore. Because people are just, all right, can I say this as well? We're not friends. No, I'm not friends with any of you. If you're listening to this show now and you are not in this room with me, I am not your friend. I can't. I had CJ yesterday tweeting me, this melodramatic, you think I'm a troll, I'm never going to call again, I'm never going to listen again, goodbye. And I go, dude, what are you talking about? And then the whole Wasim thing, and then Jack and Kadir, and oh, God. Luckily, we've got a sensible caller here. Good evening, Andre.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah.
Iain?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a bit disappointed today and yesterday. Hello?
Yes, Andre, you didn't ask a question. You started a sentence. There was no need for me to react. You just carry on speaking, mate.
Oh, don't answer a question with a...
There we go.
Wow, everyone. Not everyone. Those guys, please, stop it.
To make things worse, I'm going to say something I never thought I'd say. I think I've got a boil on my bum.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I think I have. I'm probably going to show it to you at some point.
I don't want to see it.
I'm probably going to show it to you at some point. It's early days.
I never completed my medical training. I was in St John's Ambulance for not St John's Ambulance, I was in the Red Cross for about 3 years. I never passed any certificates. Don't show me the boil on your bum. I don't want to see it.
OK, well, I'm going to show it to you off camera. But I noticed last night as I was taking my trousers and my underpants off.
How far up is it?
It's there.
All right, so it's
safe.
lower back, really.
No, so it's on a buttock.
Oh, my God.
And as I pulled my pyjama trousers on, I bought some pyjama trousers.
Good.
And as I pulled them on, I felt a shooting pain in my buttock.
Oh, God.
And I thought, oh, hello, shit, what's this? I went and had a look in the mirror. Bearing in mind, the flat I'm staying in, the mirror is very high up. It's on a bathroom cabinet. So it took some manoeuvring, and I saw there's a big red spot. It's like a spot.
Could you have been bitten?
No.
Spider?
No.
Spider nest?
No, it's not a spider nest in my arse. So I thought, well, maybe it's just a spot. It's a pimple. So I had a really good go at squeezing it, and all it did was cause me absolute agony. And then I went to bed and I played a bit of PlayStation, then I went to sleep. Then I woke up in the morning, and as I rolled over, my bum was in... I rolled and I accidentally caught... I didn't catch it. My buttock brushed my duvet. And I was in... I want to say a word that I don't know what the word is. Paroxysms of pain.
Okay.
I was in paroxysms
A world
of
of
pain.
pain.
I was in paroxysms.
Paroxysms.
Oh, but so I got the letters right?
I think so.
Okay, fine.
I've never said it out loud. I've read it.
I was worried I'd put in 2 syllables too many, but I was in paroxysms
Now you have.
of pain, and I looked and it's got redder. So here's the thing, and I know this is very local radio and stuff, but what do I do with the ball? It's not big. It's certainly you can't squeeze it, and it's certainly not big enough to be lanced. You know, it doesn't look like it's pustulating. But what am I supposed to put TCP on there?
Could it be a cyst?
I don't know the difference.
How close to the surface is it?
Well, I can't squeeze it to
Right.
make it into a.
Does it feel like it's something deep inside?
Well, I don't know, and this is why I'm going to need you to look at it.
I don't want to...
And to prod it. You've probably got a compass, haven't you?
No, why would I have a compass?
Because you're
drawing circles.
You're a massive bumlick.
My math set.
Yeah, well, you've got pencil case.
True.
So yeah, I would have thought so. So we're gonna need some work on that. So plenty to talk about. Elton John, Marky Smith, and my arse. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We're getting reports that tomorrow's Daily Express front page will be "Eat curry to beat dementia." Wowzers, that's made up. Let's go to Simon. Good evening, Simon.
Yo.
Yes, Simon. What have you got for us this evening? Wednesday evening, I believe it is.
I've got a question for you.
Yep.
I did tweet this to you earlier. I don't know whether you got it. Now, last year there was you did a show and you had a feature on your show of some very old recordings of people.
Yes.
That were like being interviewed by people.
Yes. It was kids.
Yeah, and they were talking really posh and really like I think the emphasis was put on the fact that kids wouldn't speak like that these days.
Yes.
What was that you were getting that from? Is it something I can access?
Is it from the? Yes, it's. I don't know. Do you have do you have access to the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've got it blocked in your house or your workplace, but there's a website called YouTube.
Oh, it's on there, is it?
Yes, it was on there, and I think I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's called something like Kids Talk, Child Talk, something like that. Because I had an album of it, a vinyl album that I got in a second-hand record shop, and the record is on YouTube. And there was also they made a TV series of it. So you type in something like that. And it's just loads of posh... Hey, we never carried on watching The Family, did we? We didn't get to The Family. It's just loads of kids talking in the 1960s and 1970s, but sounding dead posh.
Yeah, it was quite interesting.
It's all out there. The internet is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Well, I thought you'd reply to me on the basis that we're friends.
Oh, for God's sakes, man. Not friends. Unless you're sat in this studio with me right now... and even that's touch and go.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this and you are not sat in the studio, there's a Venn diagram, right? And the circle of friendship is within this studio. And I'm sorry, James, I like you, but we're not friends. And if you're outside of this studio but listening to this show, then we're not friends. We're not friends, guys. We're not
Well, we can be friendly as long as you don't act like a div.
Well, I do wonder. So the newspapers are all doing Neil Diamond. They've all got Neil Diamond in, all with various tributes, and some are a little bit sniffy. And some are spot on. Here we go. The Sun. Well done. Diamond's Rough Times.
Oh.
It should be Rough Diamond, though, shouldn't it?
I think that they've done it fine. I think it's okay.
Rough Diamond.
Diamond in the rough.
Parkinson's Diamond. That's not a phrase, is it? No. Parky. Shaky knees.
No, I'm going to say it sounds a little bit insensitive.
Okay,
I think they've
good.
done all right with what they've got.
Singer Neil Diamond yesterday announced his retirement from touring after 5 decades following his diagnosis with Parkinson's disease. So he announced this yesterday. It's his birthday today, 77 today. Oh. Isn't it? Isn't it, though? Really is. Love Neil Diamond. The Sweet Caroline hitmaker it doesn't even mean anything. Who turns 77 today, has cancelled the remaining dates of his 50th anniversary tour in Australia and New Zealand on medical advice. But the star insisted he will continue to write and record music despite the debilitating condition which can lead to tremors, speech impairment and mobility issues. He told fans, "It is with great reluctance and disappointment that I announce my retirement from concert touring. I've been so honoured to bring my I wish I'd gone and seen him this year. Last year. Wish I'd gone and seen him. You idiot, Lee. You absolute idiot. I was toying with buying a ticket on the day as well, and I didn't. Neil performed in the UK in October as part of his tour, but said the onset of Parkinson's had made it difficult to travel and perform on a large-scale basis. Diamond, who sold... Get the flippin' heck. He sold more than 130 million albums. 130 million albums worldwide and had numerous number one hits, is due to receive a Lifetime Achievement Prize at the Grammy Awards on Sunday. Oh, that'll be worth watching. Let's find a hooky website. Let's hope that the Grammys legitimately post that on a website that we can watch it on. VPN, I'll find a hooky website and send you the link.
When's that? Sunday night?
Sunday night.
We'll have that.
Well, maybe Monday morning, wouldn't it? That'll be good. That'll be nice. I wonder if he'll sing a song there. Fellow singers yesterday paid tribute to his incredible career and wished him well in the battle against the disease. Barry Manilow, 74, tweeted, "So sorry to hear about the great Neil Diamond's illness. I'm rooting for you, Neil." Well, they famously hated each other. So I wonder if Manilow really is rooting for him, or if he's thinking, right, now at last,
my time to shine.
I can take over. Shine on, you crazy Diamond. Nancy Sinatra, 77, who follows me on Twitter.
Oh.
Yeah. She follows about 50,000 people, but I'm one of them. Added, "Keep fighting, old buddy. You've got a long way to go." Speaking about the 50th anniversary tour in 2016, Diamond said... Oh, then they've got... Do you know what? For a second there, they've got a list of his songs, and I thought they'd done that thing where they make jokes about his songs.
Well,
but they hadn't.
This is no time for jokes.
They just listed his
hits.
songs. Yeah. I'm one of those people who would rather sit on the beach and do nothing, but I can't. You've got to love Neil Diamond. You've got to love Neil Diamond. 03444991000. Good evening, Nick.
Girl, you'll be a woman soon. Girl, you'll be a woman.
Well, you got that. Yes.
You'll be a bumman.
Girl, it's what you. Listen, it was a bold effort. Let's be honest. It was a very, very.
I
bold
heard the moment.
I can't do the best Neil Diamond impression because I've not had the best.
Just be quiet, Nick. I'll show you how it's done.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Go again.
Right. Girl. No, hang on.
No.
I love you so much, can't count all the ways I'd die for you, girl, and all I can say is he's not my kind. Shut up. Love you so much, can't do all the things, and I gotta buy a car, and I gotta go rings.
What?
You know it's no good, baby, it's all no good. 'Cause don't you know, girl, you'll be a woman soon, soon. You'll need a man for sex.
Up to that point, I thought it might be about periods.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Catherine, wash your mouth out with soap and go and get changed into your skimpy outfit. There are men here.
Well, I'm not sure about that with me on the line, but there you go.
It's sad about Neil Diamond. I love Neil Diamond. I love it. I think he's just wonderful.
There's a really weird Neil Diamond song that you need to check out. I think it was a B-side to 2-Bit Man-Child, and it's called Broad Old Woman, 6 a.m. Insanity, and it's terrible, but it's fascinating listening.
I'll tell you. You just reminded me. I don't remember that one. I'm gonna play you the weirdest Neil Diamond. Well, no, it's not the weirdest. I'm gonna play you one of the weirdest. And this is like an early Neil Diamond song. Let me just find it right. And my dad would play this in the car. So I heard this from the age of 4. Right. Hang on a minute. Let me find it. It's hang on a minute. Right, I've not got it on my computer. Hang on, we're going to go to YouTube. This is a great song, Kath.
When you say great, you mean wrong, right?
Oh, no, no, this is great. This is a great song, right? And it's supposed to... Here's the thing. I only recently found out it's supposed to be ironic, okay? So it's supposed to be... what a time for the internet to go down. For goodness sakes. It's supposed to be... it's going to take me a minute to find it. Well, Nick, what did you call in for? Because it's going to take me a minute to find it. Go on.
Oh, well, several things. I sent you that long, rambling message today, Ian, but, I want to thank you for, being nice to my mum when she dropped the Doctor Who, DVDs off.
Oh, that was you, mate. Yeah. Thank you. I wasn't going to be rude to her, was I? His mum came to see us in Scunthorpe. Well, she came to see us. She sat through tolerated the first 5 minutes of the show, dropped off some DVDs, and buggered off.
I think she was she was a cracking turn.
Yeah, she did a good job. It was very nice to briefly meet her.
Oh, thank you. No, it was very charming. It was nice nice that you were nice.
Well, I'm nice to mums. Mums like me.
My mum's not crazy about you.
Oh, hang on. Whoa.
Now, I was gonna rest in peace, Marquis Smith. I'm not the biggest fan of the Fall, but obviously he was a true kind of punk pioneer, and obviously someone who's generally into music would have been aware of. And
I know that he's been around, and I know that there's lots of different members of the band.
There's a hefty discography to wade through. I've dipped in. I would say the one to start with is Hex Induction Hour.
I'm probably not got. Here's the thing. I've got so much I need. I've got 8 Bob Dylan CDs I need to work my way through. So it's unlikely I'm gonna start diving into the Fall. But so what? I mean, what? Why? Why do you? What's good about them? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to the brass tacks. What's so bloody good about the band?
Because I think he was unashamedly proud of the amateur sound of the Fall. He always kind of stuck to that sort of inspired amateur sound. And even though he's kind of got a reputation of being sort of difficult or crazy or this or that or some crazy northern person, there's obviously was a real kind of literary mind and poetic spirit about what he did. Yeah. And I think he's. I don't know if you've seen the clip where he's reading the football results.
No.
But that is classic.
No. I've not seen
and
it.
I think he did sort of make a weird kind of impact on the mainstream. I think Hip Priest by the Fall. I think that's at the end of Silence of the Lambs, if I remember rightly. But I think he's just someone who always kind of he stuck to his guns. Even though they stuck to a sound, it was always slightly different because of each all the lineup changes and.
There's no name one. Now that Marquis Smith's gone.
Yeah.
Name one living. Rock eccentric. One living rock eccentric.
Oh, I mean, I would have said John Lydon, to be honest with you, but I mean,
I don't think he's eccentric. I think he's
commercial. I think everyone's kind of thought he was a bit of a sellout, but I really would have said John Lydon.
I don't think he's eccentric. I think he's got his head. He's bright. He's focused, and I think he plays the game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
even in the punk days, even when he was a Pistol, he was playing the game. It was McLaren who was kind of the guy behind the thing pulling the strings. But Bob Lydon is basically he's a pop star. That's what he is. He's a pop singer.
Yeah, Mark Smith was never a pop singer.
No,
I think that's why he was about as cult as you can get.
Yeah. Well, that Nick, listen, thank you for that, mate. I'm going to.
I was going to say as well, if you're going to start with a Dylan album, I would recommend John Wesley Harding because that's my favourite one.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm into Dylan already. I don't need album recommendations. 0344 499 1000. Can you name one living proper rock eccentric?
Like Ozzy Osbourne?
He's not eccentric, though. His music is very, very conventional, and he's just a space cadet. You know, he's brain addled. I don't think he's eccentric. 0344 499 1000. James, stay there. Come to you in a bit. I'm Iain Lee. This is the late night alternative. Tick your radar diaries now. We're Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Neil Diamond did record some weird stuff. You can't be making albums for 50 years and not record some weird stuff, right? So this is a song. Now, Neil Diamond was quite anti-drugs. I think he may have smoked a couple of spliffs, but generally he was quite anti-drugs, okay? And this song, as a kid, confused the hell out of me.
La, 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 pot, pot, give me some pot. Forget what you are, you can be what you're not.
You see?
High, I wanna get high. Never give it up if you give it a try.
So he's being ironic, right?
Right.
Okay, it's being ironic. Okay, it's in the era when this is probably about 68, 69. So everyone's smoking pot, right? It gets weirder. Right, and as a kid, this song used to freak the hell out of me, right? You ready?
Yep, go.
Here we go.
La, 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 la.
I started when I was 13, and I had saw some people smoking pot, and I bought myself a nickel bag, and I went behind my building and sat on a bench all by myself, and I smoked that bag, until I finally got high. Well, I started with pot because I was curious, and at that time I was having problems with my family. I remember on one trip, I was at a party, and I got very sick from speed, from meth, and I used to shoot it in my spine.
What?
I also used to shoot acid in my spine, and I had too much. I was building a big thing up over a week, and I got sick, and I tried to commit suicide.
Now that my dad,
Whoa, you're sitting in the car as what? How old?
like 6, 7, 8 years old, and this would come on, and I'm there going. But here's the funny thing. Part of my brain is going, yeah, it sounds nice. So you'd have that, and then it goes.
La, 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 pot, pot, give me some pot. Get what you are, you can be what you're not. Do, take a family cruise. You with your grass, mom and dad with their booze.
Isn't it, though? It gets worse.
Ooh, la, 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 la.
I was so sensitive, my family, there was so much going on in my family, every little thing bothered me. When I started using drugs, I just didn't care. Nothing bothered me, nothing hurt me, I didn't feel anything. And I didn't care if I lived or died, so I didn't care if I used, shot dope or if I took an OD or what. I was so unhappy, I felt so unworthy, From the time I was growing up, I think, I have 2 older sisters, they're twins, The 3 of us used to compete for my father's love, and I always felt like he loved them more than he used to tell me this, Like he used to say all the time, you're unworthy, you're not as good looking as your sisters, you're not this like your sisters, you're never going to be anything, no one's ever going to love you. He was a rabbi and there was a lot of pressure,
I mean, honestly, we heard this song because you'd have the songs on a cassette, a C90 cassette. I remember on a driving to Cornwall, and that cassette Cornwall would have been then. It was about a 5-hour drive, so we would have heard that song about 5-6 times, just on a loop.
Wow.
La la la, pot, give me some pot. Forget what you are, you can be what you're not. Tough, the world is so tough. And when it gets harder, you can try harder stuff. Oh,
there we go. Here comes the bleakest one.
Yeah, I never felt much like I was much of anything in my whole life. I was looking for love somewhere, and I wasn't getting it anywhere. But I was never happy. I always felt on the outside. Actually, as much as I'd like to deny the fact that pot was the beginning of my usage of drugs, I mean, it's there as a fact. It was the beginning of my using of drugs. It was the first thing I touched in the drug field. I was told it was innocent by everybody that surrounded me, people that I looked up to as intellectuals and smart people. And they told me there was nothing wrong with pot. You would never graduate to anything else. Now I can walk up the street here about a block and see these same people, as intellectual as I thought they were, using heroin. I can't see myself ever using it again.
La la la, pot, give me some pot. Forget what you are, you can be what you're not. Hip, you wanna be hip. You know it all if you don't take a trip. Pot, give me some pot.
I was 17 when I started prostituting.
Left the note that went. I said, wow, what's that? And it blew my mind, and I liked it. But then, he threw up the other nostril, knocked the nostril at my head blew.
We used to say, ride the pink horse down Nightmare Alley.
I mean, isn't it? But I would hear that as a kid and think, yeah, that sounds all right. That sounds all right. Shooting up in the spine. Yeah, that sounds all right. I would hear that and would think, well, yeah, that sounds...
Gosh.
It's exciting.
Meanwhile, in the back of my dad's car, it was money for nothing and your chips for free.
Well, again, we're back to that, All the President's Men Party, whatever that nonsense was. That's some song. But also, I mean, that was about 1968, 69. That's a bold move for a guy who is basically a pop... who's part of the pop machine. He worked at the Brill Building, turning out tunes for Donny Kirshner, and selling them to the Monkees and Lulu and all the, these kind of people. And then to come out and to do an anti-pot statement like that, that takes some kind of balls, And this is one of the reasons why I love Neil Diamond, because he's, I'm going to say something and it's not going to quite make sense, but he's always been on the fringe. He's always on the fringes. Even at his most mainstream, he is unlike any other performer. There's a brilliant... and James, I'll come to you in a bit. There's a brilliant movie, The Last Waltz, okay? And it's Martin Scorsese, and it's a documentary, really pretentious, over-the-top film about the band, right? Robbie Robertson and the band, Levon Helm and Rick Danko and all of that. And it's their last gig. And they bring out a who's who of who's hip on stage. So Dylan comes out, Neil Young comes out, Van Morrison comes out, Dr. John comes out, all these really hip people. And then Neil Diamond comes out. And there's a reason he comes. But Neil Diamond comes out, and everyone is like, this is weird, this is weird, this big, massive, like, Vegas thing, and because he worked with Robbie Robertson. Although apparently I don't know if this story is true, but I like to believe it is. As Neil Diamond walked off stage, he leant over to Neil Young and said, try and effing beat that. But by the way, it's also a film where if you watch very carefully, you've got to watch, this is true, you've got to watch the original VHS release of The Last Waltz, because they digitally removed it on the DVD. Up Neil Young's nose is a big bit of white hanging out. They digitally removed it from the DVD. They removed Neil Young's cocaine. 03444 999 1000 is the telephone number. James, stay there. By the way, don't take drugs, guys. James, stay there. We'll come to you in a bit. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.
03444 999 1000. Good evening, James.
Hello, Iain. How you doing?
I'm all right, fella. What you got for us?
Well, Ian, I don't know if this is particularly relevant or not, but it's something that's been on my mind for a few days. Well, since the weekend, actually, when I was in a car park in Waitrose in one of these sort of suburban towns in the home counties. I think it was Berkhamsted. Are you familiar with Berkhamsted? Like sort of Gerrards Cross, Beaconsfield.
Okay, I know the vibe. I know the vibe of which you speak.
So there was a cold, sleet, snow coming down,
Yes.
and I saw this guy, late 20s, wearing shorts and flip-flops and a T-shirt, and he's like trying to look really, really cool, even though it is freezing. He's got 2 trophy kids. They're all wrapped up. But Daddy has got a Mooka coffee in one hand.
What?
And he's one of those fancy coffees. It costs him about £5.
Mooka?
Mooka.
Do you mean a mocha?
Mocha, that's it, mocha. Sorry.
I'm not even begun on the phrase trophy kids, because I don't know what that means. But go on, carry on.
Well, trophy kids, they're all decked out in fancy gear, all the ladies outdoor gear, and he's wearing next to nothing with his flip-flops. Now, if you're in central London, you can get away with this because you're probably from the southern hemisphere, so you think, oh, he's from Australia, he's a bit of a knob, but, we'll let him get away with it.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, he's not racist. That wasn't racist, no.
Xenophobic.
No, xenophobic? Oh, right, maybe. Oh, I'll withdraw that comment.
No, carry on, because I've got no idea where this is going to go. I'm letting you blunder through all of these hurdles, and because I want to get to the end of this. This is incredible stuff.
I'm just trying to say that it's like middle class. He probably is training investment banker. He's in Waitrose, coming out there. He's in the car park. He's got the trophy kids all wrapped up. He's got flip-flops on. He's probably got one of those silly sleeve tattoos because it's really cool. And he's standing there with a Mooka coffee in his hand. And he's trying to look cool. And let me come on to the best bit. And when he starts to walk away with the 2 trophy kids, they've got this swagger where literally, because they're in flip-flops, okay, bear in mind there's sleet coming down, the snow's coming down, he's looking around to see who's looking at him. They walk sort of like a duck. Do you know what I mean? But it's that sort of flip-flop swagger.
Maybe. Right, okay. There's so much going on in this, James. This is wonderful. Thank you for calling. Maybe he just got caught unawares by the snow, because the snow sort of came down quite suddenly at the weekend, didn't it?
No, this is true, but I see this all the time. I mean, we're in December, January.
See people getting caught in the snow all the time?
No, not getting caught in the snow, but I just see these type of individuals, because what it is, they can't afford sort of like Notting Hill, places like that, so they come out to the home counties where the transport links are good, right? And they end up in Berkhamsted, Gerrards Cross, Beaconsfield, all these sort of places, and it's just like, it's a new form of yuppie, and I suppose I'm angry, I'm 50, I'm bitter.
Got my handle on it. It's a class thing.
Perhaps, yeah.
Well, no, there's no perhaps. It's there. You can't be upset that middle-class people have moved to Berkhamsted, can you?
Well, I can, because my friend moved there 10 years ago. It had tiny bits of working class, but they've all been kicked out.
Well, no. Hang on.
Now. He lives in Hemel. He's
James, but they weren't kicked out.
No, they were forced out.
No, okay. How were they forced out?
They turned all the nice boozers into yuppie pubs, and he had to move to Hemel Hempstead.
Right. Well, okay. Right. So you're saying he had to move to Hemel Hempstead because there were no pubs in Berkhamsted?
No, there was pubs, but the yuppies got in there, and before you know it, Strongbow had gone, and then some fancy cider from Herefordshire, that type of thing.
Right, but that would just be pub landlords catering to the market. There obviously weren't enough people going in and buying Strongbow.
Yeah, possibly.
So, but your friends, what your friends did, they betrayed their working class roots, because as soon as middle class people start moving in, then the prices of the properties go up. So your friends are the guilty ones because they saw a chance to cash in their chips and make a shed load of money.
Perhaps.
Well, so it's their fault.
Yeah, you're right, it is. Pat, it's your fault. My mate's called Pat.
Pat, you've betrayed your roots, Pat. Shame on you. Shame on you. But why are you so angry, James? What's this anger about?
Oh, I just turned 50, and it's just like, your blood boils over mine. And the thing is, I woke up this morning, and I had a premonition of you walking from some Ponzi hotel to that TVM studio, probably wearing shorts and flip-flops.
Okay.
And it all joined up, and that's why I called.
So hang on, you're angry with me because I started off, and this is true, I started off as working class on a council estate, and then probably around, well, when we moved to Farnham Common, I made the transition to middle class. So you're angry with me?
You should have stayed in the Brickwell, where you belong.
Well, we did this weird thing that, I kind of feel partly guilty about, but I don't know why, because it had nothing to do with me, and I'm glad it happened, where we bought our council house, and then we sold it 3 years later for an extra £50,000 or whatever it was, and then we moved out. We did that.
Fair play to you, Ian.
Well, I was 11. My part in it was minimal. It was down to my parents, but we did that, and that. I realise now that historically I am part of the problem as to why there is a lack of housing for lack of social housing, because my mum and dad sold their house.
Yeah. Well, don't get me on social housing, right, and affordable housing, because affordable housing at $600,000 is not affordable, is it? So...
Well, it's the question is who is it affordable to? You know, that's the obviously the big scam of the century. But yes, well, James, I hope you feel a bit better now that you've unburdened.
I've offloaded, Ian.
Well, OK, thanks very much indeed. I'm going to cut you off now, just so you know that. And in answer to that message, James, on the screen, I really don't need to, trust me.
Side note.
Yes.
Berkhamsted's always been posh.
He sounded quite posh.
I know.
He sounded quite posh. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Then you can do. It's quiet on the phones today, but you know what? That's the way it's meant to be today. It's the way it's meant. I just really feel like I'm. And I know you were worrying this was about you, Kath. It's not at all. But I just feel that there are so many people kind of putting their shit onto me, you know, and I'm allowing. It's partly my fault because I'm allowing myself to do it, but like the whole thing with Wasim and Jack yesterday and his milk and CJ, who it turns out was drunk, and so these people are kind of putting all this stuff on me, and there's other people putting stuff on me as well outside of this, and I just felt, but I'm just feeling weighed down by it all.
Here's what happened from my perspective. I just see that on Twitter and think, oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm his friend and he's not telling me, and he's kind of venting to Twitter. I hope he's all right.
Oh yeah, no, but it wasn't. You're one of the good guys, but there's just everyone's like, you know, not everyone, but there are people that are just expecting so much of me, and I'm still getting emails from people expecting stuff from me, and I'm just thinking, well, go please.
This is the thing. Since the jungle, there are a lot of people who are projecting what they think you are.
Yeah, there is.
Saint Iain.
There was a bit of that on Saturday night, at the Saturday night, wherever it was, at the Rabbit Hole, can't remember. And it's that weird thing, because obviously I have to kind of, you know, talk to the public, but because that is my job. And again, on Saturday and Sunday, we're doing 2 live shows that you can watch on Periscope. But there are people that kind of assuming that we are friends, or that they know me, or that I can solve their thing, or that, you know, they like the act and they get the act, but they don't like it when the act is then put on them, you know, me being short with them or me cutting them off on the show and all of this stuff. And I'm just, you know, and I'm just struggling to get my head out. And then, of course, instead of going home to, you know, being my family home with my kids and stuff, I'm going to this horrible, crappy little flat, and it's just echoing. It's echoing on the walls, and I'm just, you know. But here's the good news. I've booked a week off in what's that month after February? March. That's the one. I've booked a week off in March. I'm going to rent a cottage in Wales. I'm looking at them on Airbnb now, and I'm going to buy a mandolin, and I'm going to take the mandolin, my PlayStation, my Amazon Prime membership, because it's got a load of Bruceploitation movies on there, and I'm going to take 1 or 2 friends, depending on if they're free that week, and we're just going to play folk music, and we're going to watch karate films.
For James, that's the middle class version of going to Marbella on the lash.
That's what we're going to do, guys. I might even take the dog with me. I don't even like the dog.
Yeah, but she'll like the walks.
Yeah, she'll like it. She's getting fat because no one takes her for a walk. Anyway, that's by the by. So, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. then you're more than welcome. This is an interesting... it's quiet on the phones, but these are the shows I get paid for, so don't you worry about that. There's a story here. Listen to this. I don't even know why anyone would think this was a good idea. Plans for Britain's first 24-hour chippy. 24-hour chippy have been blasted over fears of antisocial behaviour. I don't think chip shops are a magnet for gang violence.
Well, like chip-fuelled parties.
But chips, who'd want chips at like 5 o'clock in the morning?
Night workers?
No. Cops joined neighbours in warning against allowing Cardiff's Park Lane fish and chips to open round the clock. Okay, well, the city centre shop currently open from 11 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Has also applied to extend its alcohol licence until midnight.
Ah, there we go.
Locals and businesses in the city centre, including a nearby hotel, say there are already problems at night. The decision is up before the council. Blackpool has a 24-hour chippy, but only for the summer season.
Yeah. Well, that'll be dead during the off season, won't it?
But Blackpool's this is mind blowing to me. 24-hour chip shops. I can't think of anything. I mean, I do like every now and then I think, oh, I'd love a bag of chips, but I don't go and buy them because they're just so chippy, aren't they? You know, they're just so it's a lot of effort to buy a bag of chips. The last bag of chips I had was where were we?
That box of chips we had.
The box of chips. Where was that?
Scunthorpe.
Yeah, it was Scunthorpe. Was it Scunthorpe? I don't. Anyway, we went and got a bag of chips on the seafront.
It was like a shoebox full.
But because massive. I was nice to the girl that was serving, she said, "Oh, I'll give you a big portion. Give you a big portion." Like, I was like, "All right, thank you." It was like a shoebox full of chips.
We couldn't finish them, could we?
No, we couldn't finish it at all. It was it's one of those meals where you eat it and you're stuffed, and you look down and it's like no one's touched it. It was incredible.
Tell you what I do like though, chip butty.
Yeah, I tell you, well, I can't really join in a conversation of food because I've just been out for a celebratory meal with my agent, where I signed my contract for here, and we went to a really posh restaurant. We're like a brasserie.
I get what you mean.
Okay, and they do. It was Welly Wednesday. So it was beef Wellington, right? And the woman said, we've sold out. 7 o'clock, we sold out. I went, what? Sold out. Oh, and then a fella came. This is how good my age. A fella came over and said, sorry, Mr. Cannon, Mr. Lee, we have reserved some beef Wellington for you. Hey, buddy, come on, mate.
He's good.
Come on, mate.
Man, he's
come on, mate. We'll have that. So we had that.
What did it come with?
Well, I then also had like a sort of lamb thing with roast potatoes, and then I ordered. I said mac and cheese because that's what it said on there, but it's macaroni cheese as a side. Wow. Macaroni cheese as a side. But then they kept bringing us extra foods. They brought us out their charcuterie.
Oh, nice.
And like a for starter, get this for starter. I had a Scotch egg.
Was it wet in the middle?
Yes, it was.
That's
A posh Scotch egg. It was unprecedented behaviour in there. And do you know what? I paid for the meal because we were signing another 2 years at this crazy place. So I've signed now, so I can do whatever I want, and they can't get rid of me.
Yeah, but they'll get rid of me.
Well, that's your issue, and you need to deal with it. So good days, good happy times, great times. That's 1 hour down. It felt like 4. But sometimes they do. You can't, you just got to take the rough with the smooth. They can't all be great shows, can they, guys? We've got another 2 hours. If you want to give me a call, you're more than welcome to. So far, we've talked about Elton John. We've talked about boils. We've talked about chips. We've talked about Marquis Smith and The Fall. And we've talked about class envy. Any of that grab your fancy? You can call in about absolutely anything you want, of course. It's very simple. The phone number's free for most of you, pennies at most, but you'll speak to James, he'll take your name and number, and he will give you a call back. And you can call in about absolutely anything you want, big, small, stupid, heavy, whatever you want. 0344 499 1000. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. And we'll just sit here and we'll just chat through the papers. And if you don't want to call in, that's absolutely fine. We'll do one of those shows where you don't have to call in. My name is Iain Lee. Her name is Catherine Boyle. This is the Late Night Alternative. You are listening to us either on DAB, possibly via the Talk Radio app, or online at talkradio.co.uk.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, there are 3 ways of pronouncing Moog. It's originally a Dutch name. This goes back, 1,000 years or so. And in Holland, you would pronounce it moch. Now, that's a little bit too much to expect people to do here. In Germany, it's a fairly common name, and there it's pronounced Moog. In Great Britain, English-speaking countries, people see the double O and they say Moog. Now, I just happen to like the sound of Moog rather than Moog. Part of my family pronounces it one way, and part pronounces it the other way.
New York City, look at me now. Being stared at from behind a cloud. Mississippi, don't get annoyed. I ain't no hippie, just a New York boy. I got, well, it wasn't what I had in mind. People gawking at me like I'm talking strange. Me, I ain't much better, 'cause I'm thinking the same. Hey, boy! New York City, look at me now. Being stared at from behind a cloud. Mississippi, don't get annoyed.
No, so, you know what? That annoys me, sorry. That's a really low-quality version. I think I might have down. Let me get... We're going to play that again, but let me buy a better version of it, because that sounded awful. Hang on. Let's try this version. Sorry, guys. That was a low-quality version, and it was annoying me. I hate it when radio stations do that. And do you know what? I'm on a radio station, and I was playing a low-quality version, and it's just not good enough, and it's a bloody good song. So... we'll wait and we'll play it again, because I think if you're going to play Sir Neil Diamond, then goddamn it, you've got to play it a proper version. Sorry guys. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, then you can. Let me just get this up, and then we'll it was there. Here we go. That's better. That's better.
City, look at me now. Being stared at from behind a cloud. Mississippi, don't get annoyed. I ain't no hippie, just a New York boy. Didn't want the mayor to come or a big brass band to greet me. But then the reception I got, well, it wasn't what I had in mind. People gawking at me like I'm talking strange. Me, I ain't much better, 'cause I'm thinking the same. Hey, boy! New York City, look at me now. Being stared at from behind a cloud. Mississippi, don't get annoyed. I ain't no hippie, just a New York boy. as slow as molasses. And all the time just pointing at me, and the hair growing over my ears gets my mind to wondering just who's right and who's wrong. I guess if they get used to the sideburns, I'll get used to the corn. Hey, boy! New York City, look at me now, being stared at from behind a crowd. Mississippi, don't get annoyed, I ain't no hippie, just a New York boy.
That's our song, huh? That's some song, isn't it, hey? Love a bit of Neil Diamond, dear listener. Hey, I told you it was a musical show. You know the Smiths were going to get back together. Did you read this the other day? I read this the other day. The Smiths were going to do a tour. This is absolutely true. I read this, right? And they're not going to do a tour now. But Johnny Marr and Stephen Morrissey were not part of it. It was the other two and a third one.
Right.
They were apparently there. I read this and I thought, oh, you know, and that's not so unusual because you see, you know, the Hollies touring, and it's not the. I think it's only the original guitarist with the Hollies now, and it's the singer from Shawaddy Wad. You know, you see bands tour, and it's nice to go and see these bands. But the Smiths, the three other Smiths, were going to reunite, but they're not. Heaven knows they were miserable before.
I mean, that's professional, good
but
stuff.
Fans of the Smiths are even more fed up after a planned reunion collapsed. 3 live concerts were called off just one day after an announcement that 3 of the band were getting back together. It was said drummer Mike Joyce, bassist Andy Rourke and 5th Smith, Craig Gannon, would play Smith's songs for the first time in 30 years. Now, which is the one, because I've listened to Johnny Marr's audiobook.
Set the Boy Free.
And there's one of the Smiths that isn't Stephen Morrissey that he likes, and there's one that he refuses to like because of the court case where he... So which one does he like? Does he like drummer Mike Joyce? No, I think it's bassist Andy Rourke he likes. And that drummer Mike Joyce is not part of the inner circle anymore. I don't get the Smiths, and I know you like them.
I love them.
And I've really tried. I've seen Morrissey live. My sister forced me at gunpoint to go and see Morrissey live at the... was it the Kilburn National? Is that what it was called? You know, like 1,500-seater venue. When was that, Joe, if you're listening? I'm going to say around 1990, something like that. And it was, you know, it was a great show. And I like the song he did with... Have you heard the song he did with Susie Sue? Oh, that's a great song. It's a cover version of a song. We'll play it after 12, remind me, because I'm playing too much music tonight. But it did a great... It's a B-side. I had it on single. It's a B-side to one of his soppy solo songs. But the B-side... Oh, it's a great tune. I remember it being a great tune. I've not heard it for 20 years. It could be a stinker. We'll find out in a bit. But I don't quite... The Smiths don't really speak to me. And I can appreciate the wordplay. I can appreciate the jokes. I can appreciate the dark humour. You know, the jingle jangle guitar. But it's
nice, that, isn't
it? Yeah. But I don't get it.
Right.
Doesn't hit me.
I love it.
Doesn't hit me.
Absolutely love it.
Rourke rubbished the claims at his involvement in the Classically Smiths tour. Oh, Google Classically Smiths tour. See if we can find any posters for it. Saying, nothing was ever confirmed, approved or contracted by me or my team. Joyce then pulled out and the gigs were cancelled. Singer Stephen and guitarist Johnny were never involved.
Well, they were selling tickets.
Were they?
Mm-hmm.
How much were tickets?
Well, they've closed down the site now, but it was on ctickets.com.
Oh, flipping heck. Isn't that cheeky?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cheeky? But I could, if I were a Smiths fan, I'd pay money to go and see them. I wouldn't. Well,
I'd go and see Johnny Marr. I'd go and see Morrissey.
Well, have you been to see Morrissey?
Yeah.
Have you been to see Johnny Marr?
No.
Right. Well, then to that you've just said a lie.
I would. I said.
Well, go on then.
No, I haven't.
Well, exactly. So you wouldn't.
But I would.
Well, you haven't. He's been playing for about the last 30 years.
Yeah, but I would.
But you haven't, though.
But I wouldn't go and see them.
Well, I'm getting very close to booking a flight to the United States of America to go and see Michael Nesmith and the First National Band. Very close. He's done a few dates, which I'm having recorded professionally to release on my record label. But if he does any more, all he's doing is playing country songs from his first 3 solo albums, which are must-haves for any fans of the genre. Loose Salute, Magnetic South and Nevada Fighter. Go and buy those. And he's got a band. And he's got a steel guitar player, and I've seen video of it, and it looks flipping amazing. I'm yay close to if he announces some more dates, I'm going. Sorry, guys.
You don't care anymore, do you?
I don't care anymore. I'm going because these people are dying, right? And with Diamond has proven to me, and Elton John has proven to me.
He's not dying.
Well, no, but he's taking the piss. But they, you know, you've got to go. Nesmith's got to be 74. He's going to die soon, and I don't want to have not seen the First National Band, so I'm going. And then he's going to do a tour with Mickey over. I'm going to go and see that. I just don't care. Life is for the living, you know. By the way, that Art Garfunkel book, I've only got another 20 minutes to go.
Will you miss it?
It's becoming a chore, but you know, he walked across America.
Did he, though?
Yes. And he walked across Europe from the top of Ireland all the way across to Istanbul.
How do you know?
Well, he says he did.
No, he doesn't.
He does. He
says in the book. He says, I walked...
Yeah.
Does he mean it, or is he being poetic?
No. God, no. I'll find a bit. Hang on a minute.
Taken to the extreme. Just tells to lead a better life. I need my love to be here.
Oh, that's just where he's listing songs he likes. He does. He's going, these. I like these songs in the order that I heard them. Hang on a minute.
The act of life is, for me, forever charmed. Euro walk completed.
Here we go.
Leg number 30.
Euro walk.
Uppsala to Istanbul. I walk because I'm fiercely in love with being alive. I walk for the lungs to exhale and expel. I walk for the spine to be upright. I walk to hear the rooster. I am a singer. I love to see decrepit things, history, old shacks, the beauty of 6 o'clock, of 7, of 8, the twilight lay of the land in lullaby. I play with mathematics. I calibrate. Lately, I enjoy guessing the steps to the mosque up ahead. Every 2 steps is a 5-foot pace, 100 meters. 68 of them is a short home run. Most of all, I walk to relax, a word that means the world to me, a door to everything I care about. The life within, philosophy, the beauty behind the beauty. Shibuli.
Oh.
So I remember, I measure, I miss my loves at home. I empty out to come about. I am a singer.
I mean,
he talks like this all the time. So you ring him up. Oh, how was your day? Well, that's quite a long way. Look, there's the map.
Yeah, no, but
that's 50 hours worth of walking.
Yeah, that's the 30th stage. He just said that's the 30th stage. He walks across. I don't know if he does it all in one go, but he walked from Ireland to Istanbul. He walked all the way across America.
Gosh. Imagine being the person he tells about it when he gets back.
Imagine being, yeah. But he talks about he's walking through Ireland and he sees some cows and he sings to them. Imagine you're just like you're just walking and you go, that fellow we passed, right? Was that Art Garfunkel? No, it couldn't have been. He walks all the bloody way. 03444991000 is the telephone number. This is the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Someone has very kindly pointed me into the direction of artgarfunkel.com, where he lists every book he's read since 1968. He really does. But there's also a section called Walks. Art started his first walk in the early 80s when he was in Japan and decided to walk across that country. Somewhere around 1984, he left his New York City apartment, cut across Central Park, and went past his alma mater, Columbia University, across the George Washington Bridge, and was in New Jersey. That was the beginning. Most of the time I was alone with my Sony Walkman and my notebook in my pocket. Over 40 more excursions, about 3 a year, taking about 12 years. I crossed the entire United States. His walk across America ended September 1997 at the South Jetty, the Pacific Ocean. In May 1994, he began to walk across Europe, starting in Ireland. Isn't that nuts?
He's quite a compulsive person, isn't he?
He's a nut job.
He can't just go for a little walk. He has to, complete things.
And look, there's the dates of exactly when he walked and where he walked.
Of course there are lists.
Oh, God, I love... let's find a list of his books. Pick a year, any year, and we'll see what books Art Garfunkel read.
All right, 1993.
Look, 1993. Okay. April 1993, he was reading a book by K.J. Dover called Greek Homosexuality.
Gosh, what was that about?
Then after that, he read England in the 20th Century. Then after that, The Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. Kevin from Highgate's emailed in, what did you say to wind up Steve Allen of LBC? He was having a right go at you yesterday morning on his show. What did you say? Just that he gets his dick out at Christmas parties, and he's a knob, and he's a bully, and that he thinks fat shaming is a funny thing to do, and that he's really, really misogynistic, and that he's a nasty piece of work. But apart from that, nothing.
Touchy.
Very, very touchy. Steve is one of those people who likes to dish it out. But boy, oh boy, if anybody says anything about him, he has a little hissy fit. Terrible presenter, zero talent, and he can shove that 4 a.m. spike right up his jacksie. Let's go to Chris. Good evening, Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hi.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Ian.
Yes.
I was just calling to ask something in regards to something you were talking about a few weeks now.
Okay, yeah.
A few weeks back.
Yes.
And it's that fan fiction.
Oh, yes.
I was wondering, where can I find it? I'm only asking because I really need some inspiration for one of my own. You really inspired me in the jungle, you see.
Say that again?
I'm asking for where can I find this fan fiction?
Yes. Why do you? What is your fan fiction going to be about?
Well, you, of course.
Okay. Well, why do you need to copy the works of somebody else?
It's inspiration, you see.
Yeah, but as I was saying, why do you need to copy the works of someone else? If you're going to be a writer, then delve deep within.
I've never read a fan fiction before. I need to know get to know the genre.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. The best way to create art is to be unblemished by anybody else's art.
See, I don't agree with that.
Well, you're wrong.
In music, I like to play the guitar a lot, and in music, there's lots of places you can take inspiration from and then make it your own. Okay. And I feel like I could do that.
But the best artists would just go and create. You're aware of Captain Beefheart, of course, aren't you, as a guitarist?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favourite Beefheart album?
If I'm honest, I don't know any albums.
Okay. Favourite Beefheart song?
I've listened to them. I couldn't name any songs. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, well, that's fine, of course. Well, my favourite Beefheart song is a song that goes "Smiled and Twisted" from Trout Mask Replica. Now, of course, what he did was he holed up his band in a house in the desert and forbade them to listen to records, cassettes, or the radio. He came up with his own musical notation system that was based on colours, and he would get people to rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and it all came from a unique place. And let me tell you guys, there is no album out there like Trout Mask Replica because it comes from within. And I'm suggesting, Chris, that you can do the same thing with your fan fiction.
Sounds like good
advice.
Information, that.
Information.
Yeah, advice,
information.
Advice.
The words are interchangeable. Advice is the correct one, though. Well, I wish you the best of luck with it, Chris. And when you've got something, feel free to give us a call back and share it with us.
Will do, Ian.
That's
Will
great.
do.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. A lot of weirdos out at the moment, aren't there? A lot of weirdos out. Huh? A lot of kids doing characters.
Oh, bless him. Because you can't just Google fan fiction.
No. He's not going to write anything, unfortunately. No. That's a shame. Well, speaking of fiction, there's where is it in the Sun? Writer blasts lack of danger in kids' books. There we go. Once upon a time, health and safety killjoys threatened to wipe out any hint of danger from children's books, leaving the plots too dull for words. Here we go. Right. Sadly, this is not a fairy tale, but what is happening, according to Francesca Simon, author of the popular Horrid Henry kids' books.
That kid.
She reckons publishers are so worried that stories will encourage youngsters to put themselves in harm's way that they are censoring content. Francesca told Radio 4's Today programme it means Henry would not be able to jump off a roof or play with pots and pans. Asked if it was the publishers who insist on this, she replied, absolutely. No child standing on a chair by a stove. You will never see that in a picture book. Kate Wilson, boss and founder of children's publishers Noisy Crow, added children's publishers are drearily self-restrained. So thank goodness these kids' classics came along before the safety police. Because Kate Jackson found plenty of hazards in them, and then she lists books that have got hazards in. I struggle with Horrid Henry.
I do. He's a runt.
Well, here's the thing. And this is where it becomes very confusing with me, because my kids love them.
Yes.
Right? My kids love the Horrid Henry books, and they love the Horrid Henry TV show, and they like the Horrid Henry movie, which I would suggest the movie... Let's put the movie to one side, because I think it's a different beast to the books and the cartoon series, right? I think it's a different beast. Dick and Dom are in the movie, but I think it's a different beast. And I don't think the books and the cartoon series are very good. I don't think they're very good. They're rude and vulgar, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with rude and vulgar, but I think that the rudeness and the vulgarity is lacking. It's kind of lacking an intelligence to it, and I don't think they're very good. But my kids love them. So, am I being a snob by? And I let them watch it. I don't stop them watching it. I don't stop them reading the books. But am I being a snob by thinking that they're not very good and my kids love them? Because I imagine that someone would argue, well, they're not aimed for you. They're aimed at kids. But I can still get, I can still see the worth, the artistic merit in some of the books that are listed here. The Enormous Crocodile, Roald Dahl. Lost and Found by Oliver Jeffers is a great book. Tiger Who Came to Tea, Judith Kerr. The Secret Seven, the Fame. I can still get, the Harry Potter books. I can still get the artistic merit in that. But with Horrid Henry, I just don't think they're very good.
I don't like the kid. I think he's obnoxious. At least, if you... I tell you what I do like, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Those films are great, and I think the books are good. But Horrid Henry, it's got no saving grace.
Well, but this is it. What I'm trying to get is, I'm just looking at Art Garfunkel's list of books. I don't think he's read any of the Horrid Henry books. But I'm wondering if the argument is true that I'm not meant to like them. I'm not meant to like modern music, right? Because it's aimed at 11-year-old girls. And maybe it is an age thing. Maybe at 44... These are written in such a way that, sonically, I'm not meant to connect with it in some way. I don't know. Or maybe they're just not very good. I don't know. These books, Going on a Bear Hunt, Michael Rosen, you see. What is it? I mean, this counts as journalism today. Look. So they've just listed a load of children's books, and then... But listen to this. Hazard, we're going on a bear hunt. A reckless teenager takes his 3 young siblings across fields, through a deep river, across thick mud, battling a snowstorm, and into a cave looking for a bear. And here are the hazards. Lack of vital preparation, no phone, no map, no compass, and failure to check weather forecast. Young children improperly supervised and wearing inappropriate clothing and footwear. Foolishly enter lair of a dangerous wild animal. This is 2 pages in a national newspaper, the same national newspaper that owns us. What the hell is that? How is this? I mean, the rubbish they put in here. I mean, it really is ridiculous. Anyway. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you don't have to. It's a strange and balmy, and I'm saying balmy with an L, not with an R, evening, and you're quiet on the phones, and that's absolutely fine. There is a strange vibe that I think kind of started yesterday that's emanating out of the speakers into your ears, filling your room with a weird mustiness, and that's sometimes there. If you do want to give me a call, you can, of course, 0344 499 1000. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with that man, Iain Lee. There's no strangers here, just friends you haven't stalked on Facebook yet.
Have never sent my picture to anyone who didn't request it.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Yes.
344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Then you're more than welcome. And if you don't want to give us a call, well, then you don't have to. We've got only another hour and a half to go. We'll stumble through this. There are gazzers in the papers, and I've got no idea why, and I don't really care why. But I tell you why it struck me. Because he's got a beard. Have you seen his beard?
No.
What's that on his face?
Oh.
What's that?
Gosh, that's like a...
That's like a glued-on beard.
That's like sort of an Amish beard.
It's football legend Gazza scoring a latte winner. He's ordered a coffee. It's not a mooka. For the fans, the Geordie, 50, also got an England cappuccino. Clever. With Spurs mate Paul Stewart, 53, and a pal. And he was full of beans with Rebecca Vardy, 35. Yeah? And at the end of it all, he gets to lift a cup. So he's gone out for a coffee, which is great. And, and I don't like this needless hounding that there's been of a man and his demons. But what's that beard about, man? It just looks like it's kind of... I mean, I don't want to, add to his woes, but it looks like it's just been stuck on. It's the strangest thing.
It's just the edge of his chin. He's got, like, this sort of under lip bit. There's a half moon shaved out of it.
There's big old gaps.
But fair play.
No, fair play to him.
It's nice to see him looking a bit better.
Sir Ken Dodd's agent has slammed upsetting and completely untrue reports that the comic has died. The stories have been circulating on social media, but publicist Robert Holmes said yesterday, "I've just spoken to Ken on the phone from his hospital bed."
Oh.
He is philosophical about what's happened, but he's continuing to make slow and steady progress. Doddy, who was 90 last November, was admitted to the Liverpool Heart and Chest Hospital 12 days ago with a severe chest infection. His partner, Anne Jones, said he was being looked after very well and hoped to return home to Knotty Ash, Liverpool, in the not-too-distant future. Mr. Holmes added, "This report was upsetting and, of course, completely untrue." But reports like this get passed around very quickly, which is what makes them all the more distressing. The comedian earlier thanked his fans and the NHS for all their support. He said, "A very big thank you to everybody for their good wishes." There we go. So he's Ken Dodd, not dead yet. And long may he continue to not be dead. There's been a lot of famous people dead rumours. Do you remember Paul Weller died in a car crash in a Mini in 1992? I think, wasn't Jimmy Somerville supposed to be dead at one point as well? There was a rumour going around that Jimmy Somerville was dead. Paul McCartney, of course, died in 1967, again in a car crash. But these rumours don't seem to happen so much now. There's Twitter. They used to be like word of mouth rumours, and now on Twitter I don't think anyone's done a such and such is dead.
Well, actually, there was one last week.
Oh, go on. Who died on Twitter?
Do you remember Rodrigo from Big Brother?
I do remember. I think I remember Rodrigo.
Yeah, Rodrigo. He looked a bit like Charlene Spiteri. Now he's transitioned. He's a woman.
Okay.
She's a woman.
Yep.
And there was a thing on Twitter saying that from her Twitter account saying
Yes.
she died.
Oh.
And everyone was saying, "Oh, what a shame," you know. what a shame.
Yeah.
And then the next day, she's back on there saying, "I'm not dead. Someone hacked my account."
Oh.
Someone she knows.
Oh.
Mm.
Well, yeah. Well, I suppose. Okay. So there's one. If anyone else can think of anybody who's dead
Come
but
back
not
to
dead,
life.
he's come back to life. You know, you would think there'd be more of it on Twitter. Guy, we're trying to call you, but it's going to answer phone you, absolute pudding. So whatever you're doing, stop doing it. For crying out loud. So we can get you on the show. God damn it. But yeah, you would think that there would be a whole. It would be easy to fake someone's death on Twitter. But quite often you'll get people saying, "Oh, it's a shame someone's died," when they died 2 years before. Piers Morgan, of course, did it with Tony Hart. You know, my condolences to his family, and he'd actually died a couple of years before. I think I retweeted someone saying some singer had died and they died the year before or something like that. So it is, it's an area for misinformation, definitely.
And then there are people who die and you thought they died years ago.
Oh, well, there's always that. There's always that. People you think, oh, flipping heck. I don't know what to do with the. There's guys calling in, James. I don't know what to do with the rest of the show. It just feels leaden. Feel a bit leaden to you. Feel a little bit not. I don't know. Second show in the space of a week where I feel it's just not quite. We're not quite there yet.
There's a funny dark vibe, isn't there?
There is. It's partly flipping boiling in this studio. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not helping things. But there's something not quite right, and it comes down to me ultimately. It's my name above the door. So if it ain't working, then it's down to me. But I'm not quite sure what it is I'm doing differently or incorrectly or what. Why we're not quite getting traction. Yes, don't quite know. I shall have a think of it over the coming few days and see where we get to. Let's go to Guy. Good evening, Guy.
Oh, good evening, Ian. Hi, Kath.
Hiya, Guy.
I just wanted to have a. You were saying about kids' literature and how it was dumbed down. Well, no, sorry, that's my opinion. I think it's been dumbed down considerably. But I don't just think it's kids' books.
Oh.
Well,
what else do you think it is?
I think it's kids' entertainment in its entirety.
Go on.
I genuinely think that back from the 70s, 80s, I think there was even in the early 90s, to a certain extent, there was a greater sort of quality of material out there.
Yes.
That meant that we were, I think, had a better standard of education for kids. And I think that because of the wider spectrum of availability of
yes.
What's the word I'm looking for literature, for all the types of media and everything like that, I think it's just watered it down.
Right, I'll tell you my views on this, right, and they've changed over the last 2 years, and I'll tell you for why. But books to one side, let's talk about TV programmes. Up until about 2 years ago, I thought all kids' TV programmes were infinitely better than when I was growing up, right, because we would watch CBeebies and the other BBC channel for kids, and I think all the programmes on there and the presenters are spot on. They're clued in, they're intelligent. They're much better made, much higher production values than, when I was a kid. And you've got to remember, right, that a lot of the programmes in the 70s and 80s, you remember the good ones, right? But there was a load of old crap. Pipkins, for crying out loud, There was a load of old rubbish, right? So this is my thing up until 2 years ago. And then about 2 years ago, my family and my boys, we sort of, without making a conscious decision, we got Netflix. And we sort of stopped watching cancelled Sky and we sort of stopped watching the BBC and we started watching Netflix. And most of the kids' shows on Netflix are rubbish. And they're rubbish because they're like 10, 15 years old, or they're just cheap crap from America. And America does some brilliant kids' TV shows, but Netflix seems to have gone double down on buying all of the crap stuff that they can get for tuppence. So I think if kids are just watching Netflix and Amazon Prime, I mean, what is the point of that unless they're advertising with us, in which case they're great. The kids' programmes on there are rubbish, but if you watch like the homegrown stuff on the BBC, I think they're infinitely better. So I would say the gap between the good and the bad has grown.
Excuse me. No, I don't know. I think the thing is like when cause I had a very misspent youth. I really did watch far too much kids programs and stuff like that when I was a kid. But I think even with as you rightly I think pointed out earlier with literature as well, I think there's an air of laziness. I can't fault kids.
But that's always been the way, Guy. But Guy, that's always been the way. That's always. But maybe you were just lucky that you stumbled on the good kids books and stuff. You know, but there's always been a load of old rubbish mixed in with a few really, really good things.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can praise my parents then for picking the right things then.
Well, exactly. I think I think your parents probably did a good job. So, okay, what was the last kids book you read?
As an adult or as a child growing?
No, the last. Well, have you got kids?
No.
I'm for crying out loud!
Childless,
well, then you have. But then, if you're not immersed in that world, then you. I mean, okay. As an adult, what was the last kids book you read?
I was reading my nephew George's Marvellous Medicine.
Right, and what did you think of that? Good?
It's George's Marvellous Medicine. It's been a classic for years.
Okay, but when have you read a recent kids' book? You've just phoned in to say that kids' books nowadays are rubbish, but I'm going to suggest that maybe you haven't read any.
No. I mean, the standard. I mean, because
have you read any?
Yes.
Which ones?
Oh, it was something to do with. It was like a modern day version of Topsy and Tim, but it was severely dumbed down as far as I'm concerned.
Right, well, you can't. Hang on a minute. Topsy and Tim ain't the most intellectual books to be reading anyway. You can't dumb down Topsy and Tim.
No, that's very true. But I think the
dumb down Topsy and Tim. What are you talking? It's not possible. They're books for 4-year-olds.
Well, my niece wasn't much older than 4 when I read it.
Well, then there you go. You can't dumb down a 4-year-old's book.
Well, no, I genuinely think over the years, I just think it's been watered down.
I don't think you do think that, Guy. I think that you think you should think that, but you don't think that because you haven't read kids' books.
Well, not on a regular occasion as a parent would.
How many kids' books have you read in the last, let's say, 5 years, roughly? Be honest.
Not very many.
Yeah, right, exactly. I've read shed loads, and I tell you what, there's some crap in there, and there's some really, really good stuff in there. And the classics still stand the test of time. George's Marvellous Medicine, The Secret Seven, The Famous Five. But there's also some really, really, really good kids' books that are out there that have been written in the last 5 years. There's some wonderful stuff out there, and there's some crap. And I've bought kids' books and gone, I ain't reading that again. And I've bought some and thought, I wish I'd had this when I was a kid. But but if you haven't read them, Guy, you can't say they've dumbed down.
Oh no. Admittedly, I can't say I've ever been an authority on it, and I put my hands up to that.
Right.
But I think my point was in entertainment in its in general.
Well, you brought it back to books when I was talking about TV. But I don't think TV. I think the good stuff on kids' TV has got better, and the worst stuff has become more accessible because there are so many channels. You know, with Tiny Pops and Netflix and all of these channels that actually they just put out a load of cheap crap. But the good stuff has got better. Nina and the Neurons. I watch more from Nina and the Neurons than I could possibly ever have learnt from, 5 years of watching kids' TV back in the 70s.
Well, I was an 80s child, so I mean, as much as I did watch a lot of back catalogue stuff from the 70s that got...
All right, well, name me one... I tell you what, name me one high-quality programme from the 1980s.
I think the Raggy Dolls was quite high quality.
Did you not think that they dumbed the Raggy Dolls down a little bit too much?
No. I thought they taught quite good morals. I thought I had diversity.
Raggy Dolls. All right, guy. Nice. Thanks for calling in, man.
No worries. Take care.
Ta-ta. The Raggy Dolls.
What's he on about? Horrible histories, Operation Ouch. There are so many brilliant... My kids know loads about history that I didn't know as an adult.
The Raggy Dolls, though.
I know. I mean, it's... Yeah.
03444991000. This is Talk Radio.
Jacked up jive talk for janitors, jazz cats, and gin-soaked boys and girls.
Is that Commando?
If you're awake, you're welcome.
I've got 5 cactus needles stuck in my...
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
03444991000. Good evening, Jonathan.
Evening, Iain.
Evening, Jonathan. What have you got for us tonight?
To be honest with you, I haven't really got anything set in mind.
Okay.
But I do you believe in the theory that with every reaction there's an equal and opposing reaction?
Let's assume for argument's sake that I do.
Okay. I as a libertarian, I believe that you should leave sleeping dogs lie.
Okay.
Don't bother them.
Okay.
But I live my life by the maxim that if someone does me an injury, that I retaliate.
You live by the James maxim of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a bloody tooth.
Maybe not quite that far, but
okay.
The thing is, I want to make very clear to the human race.
Oh.
Don't bother me. I'm not interested in sticking my nose in your affairs. Please don't stick your nose in my affairs because, like America after 9/11, I might bomb you into the Stone Age.
Wow. That escalated quickly. And this coming from a guy who said he wouldn't necessarily go eye for an eye. Who's been bothering you?
Everything. I've become rather black pill in the last few weeks.
Yes.
I've asked myself 2 questions.
Yes.
Is Britain worth saving if Britain wants to destroy itself?
Yeah.
And do white people deserve to be saved when they engage in degenerate behaviours and self-destructive activities?
I've got literally no idea what you're talking about, but this is amazing. What are you are you saying that you could potentially save England?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not arrogant enough to believe that. What I'm saying is, why should I fight to protect the country and protect the people that not only don't want to protect themselves but are actively seeking their own destruction? Why should we, as a human race, save the pandas from extinction when the pandas don't want to reproduce?
I'm going to be honest, Jonathan. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what you're talking about.
Well, I'm just saying. I question whether I know I'm doing the right thing by advocating for freedom, for laissez-faire politics.
Yes.
For people to just shut up and leave other people alone and get off their lawn.
Shut up and drive. Yes.
But if people want to pursue their own destruction, why am I Why do I care so much? Why can't I be more like Aaron Clary? Why can't I enjoy the decline?
Because Jonathan, you're a caring guy. It's in. I get this. It's in your nature to care for people. You love people.
People. I have a love-hate relationship with people. Right. On the one hand, they do things that drive me out of my skull, but then you get random acts of kindness.
Yeah.
For example, and this is a sad reflection of how humanity is.
Okay.
When I come home every night, there's a little cat who lives across the street from me.
Yes.
And as soon as he sees me, he runs up to me, and he's purring, and he's running around my legs, and he's very affectionate and very kind. And I don't know who this cat is. I don't know his neighbours.
You don't know his name. You don't know if he's married or anything about this cat. It's just a friendly cat.
What I know is that I have insomnia, and often nights I sometimes go out and have a walk just to burn off some excess energy.
Okay. There are other things you could do within the confines of your bed, but you decide to go for a walk.
And one night it had been raining particularly heavy.
Yes.
And there'd been a lull in the weather. So I was walking outside, and I heard this little cat crying out in agony, been left out in the cold, in the wet. It was completely wet.
Yeah.
Went up to the cat, did my best in my own crude way to dry off the cat. And the cat has repaid me with kindness. And it reminds me of what someone said.
Yeah.
Animals, if you do a kind act by them, they'll love you unconditionally.
Androcles and the lion.
You do a kind act for a human, and they will hold it against you. They will resent you for it.
They'll shit on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only reason I've not succumbed to the black pill is because I'm looking at, well, what happens if Britain disappears? What if white people disappear?
Oh.
Is the world going to be a better place
hang on a minute.
or a worse
place? Hang on a minute. Is this whole thing hinging on the fact that some white people are having children with other people that are non-white?
No, it's not. It's not about race mixing.
Okay,
because
it's the second time you've mentioned sort of the decline of white people.
It affects other people as well, but I'm focusing on white people in particular in this instance.
Yes.
Because I'm white, and whatever way you look at it, I'm either part of the problem or I'm part of the solution, depending on what your political stance is.
Yes.
But I wish I didn't care, but I do care because I have a soul, and I don't want to see the world. This is what I think my problem is.
Yeah.
I'm like that owl character in Watchmen, where he apparently thinks that superheroes are supposed to make the world a better place.
Yes.
When I should be more like Rorschach, who should see humanity for what it truly is. Okay. Yet he does the righteous, noble thing. I should instead be focusing myself on glorifying God.
Yes.
Rather than trying to make the world a better place, because we can't. We may make it more tolerable, but no matter how hard we try, we can't make it a better place.
No.
And there's one quote that I've been mulling over for a couple of years now.
Okay, let's hear it.
Maybe you will be able to help illuminate it for me.
Okay, probably, yes.
There's a quote from the Metal Gear Solid games.
Great games. Snake. What's the character from it? Snake
and Big Boss.
Yeah, Snake and Big Boss, yes.
Yeah. It's not about changing the world. It's about respecting the will of others while believing in your own.
Yes.
And I think I sort of understand it, but at the same time I can't fully grasp it. And perhaps because you won MasterChef or Mastermind or whatever.
It was Mastermind and Ready Steady Cook, Celebrity Ready Steady Cook.
And the weakest link.
Yes.
But maybe two brains are better than one. Maybe you could unpack that and teach me something.
Jonathan, I am a teacher. I'm a very wise man, and you've given me something to think about. Thank you very much indeed. Sir. On that bombshell, we'd all like to go home now, but we ain't got the opportunity. We got another hour. 03. This is why I love this gig, because you can struggle for 2 hours and you get a call like that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We often refer to this show as a drop-in centre for the lost, the lonely, and the bewildered, and we've not had many calls tonight, but I'll be honest, they've all been quality. You really can call in about absolutely anything you want. We've talked about kids' books, we've talked about Rorschach, we've talked about saving humanity and stray cats. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We call you back. You're listening to Talk Radio on DAB, on app, or on talkradio.co.uk.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Beginning of love.
It's a lot drier than I remembered. God,
It is
it's
a bit.
slow, isn't it? It's slow. Flipping it. Right, something's got to change. Something's got to change. So I'm getting pissed off now. Right, whatever idiot sent us food, great. We ain't going to go down there and get it. It's going to stay there. You've wasted your money. Well done, you. You're a nut job. CJ, never contact me again. Never email me again. Never tweet me again, right? Because you're a pain in the arse. Just sent me this. Listen to this email. Hi, Ian. It's me. I know you've been moaning constantly about me. No, I haven't. Get a grip, son. And some others about how you feel that we put so much shit on you. But it is your job, isn't it, really? You have 21 hours in a day to not put up with us. Your job is so fun, yet you still find the time to hurt me and others by mentioning my name on air without my permission. Get a grip. I could sue you, you know. Shut up. Unless I am on air, do not talk about me. Thank you, CJ. As you are, I feel like I am just your dustbin. Never email me, never phone this show, never tweet me. I don't want your sober apology the next day. I don't want anything to do with you. I have given you more time than a lot of people have got, Sunshine, and you throw it back in my face when you're drunk, all right? Go to an AA meeting, sort yourself out. I don't want nothing to do with you, buddy. We're done here. We're done here, right? And you have gotten away with a lot of stuff, right? We're done, okay? Flipping heck. And the joker that sent us food, well done. We ain't going to go down and get it. So you've just wasted your money. I mean, I don't want to go on Matthew Wright on your asses, but what the hell is your problem? What the hell is all of your problem? God. People. 0344 499 1000. Here's a nice person. Good evening, David.
I think I might have got a wrong number, because this don't sound like the nice boy off the jungle.
I used to like you in the jungle, but now I get to hear you a lot. I think you're an arsehole. David, we've spoken before, haven't we, David?
Oh, I'm a very nervous first-time caller.
Oh, it's great to have you on board. You've got one of those voices. People say that, don't they? About, I've got one of those faces. Well, everyone's got one of those faces. They're called faces. What do you mean we've got one of those faces? I've got one of the... Have I met you before? No, I've just got one of those faces. What, with the eyes and the nose? Yeah, that would be it. It's just the physiognomy of your face that is recognisable, you muppets. Anyway,
You're
David.
not helping this first call to be any less tense. In fact, you're actually making it harder.
Well, I can only apologise.
Do you mind if I ask you a few jungle questions?
Yeah, go on.
I loved you in the jungle.
Yeah, all right, go on.
So, you took a camera in as your luxury item.
Well, yeah.
Were there any other items on your list that you kind of were debating?
No, what they did was they sent me an email saying, by the way, what would your luxury item be? And I was like... I don't really know. And they sent me a list of like popular choices, and they said people in the past have gone for a pillow, a camera, and something else. And I went, I'll take a camera. And I thought I was going to get one of those disposable cameras with 36 exposures, and my plan was to take 36 pictures and then sell them when I came out. But instead they gave me a really crappy instant camera that only had 8 pictures in it.
So you did go in with a plan then?
Yes, I did. I went with a plan to try and make more dollar.
Okay, yeah, getting it, learning more and more, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I know you're not going to disclose amounts, but the pay is different for the various jungle contestants.
Yes.
But
I tell you what, you know, Kez's money is out. You know, Kez got £70,000.
She never did.
She's got £70,000, and all I will say is,
70K.
70K. All I will say is, she got more than me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, you said you got 50.
Did I?
Yeah. But so you all get various amounts, yes. But do you get a similar room in the hotel?
Well...
Or do some of them get proper nice bra rooms?
You all get a similar room in... But I was only in my room for one night, because I did so well. You all get...
You did so well because you went in 5 days late. Had you gone in 5 days earlier,
possibly
people would have got to know you a lot quicker, and you'd have probably been one of the first out.
Yeah. possibly that is the case. What was your name, David? Yes, you could be right there. Yes.
Yeah. I'm getting a bit more confident now. I'm getting used to it.
You're fitting in quite nicely.
He's getting a little bit sassy.
Ooh. So, you know when you got in there, right, and you had to do a competition with Kez to see who was going to be the leader.
Yes.
And everyone had to decide who they were going to go with, you know, if they won. And even your mate Shappy chose the lady.
Yeah, one. I didn't know her, but I was gutted when she chose me, and I thought maybe she knew something about me.
Who, Shappy?
Yeah, I thought maybe she knew something about me, and that's why she was. Suspicious of me.
Oh, you've been a bit vague.
Yeah, well, I'm being vague. Yeah, I'm a vague kind of guy.
Okay, but you seem like quite a loyal friend. I mean, you went with her to the big show thing the other night.
Yes.
I'd have probably held a grudge, man.
Why?
I'd have had beef. I'd have had not even fully cooked beef. There'd have been no gravy.
Wowzers!
It wouldn't have been all gravy. It would have been beef.
Raw, ungravied beef.
Yeah.
No, but I like Shappy a lot. I was a bit starstruck by her, and it was all explained afterwards why they all shafted me and made me feel unloved.
Oh, it must have been hard. I did feel for you.
Oh, thank you, David.
Is it true that you're only a size 7 shoe?
No.
And is it true that Kath's about a size 9?
Yes.
That'll be it then for this first call.
Thanks for calling, David. I look forward to your second call.
All the best.
Thank you very much. Ta-ta. CJ didn't send that email. I think I know what's going on. We've upset a couple of people over the last couple of days, and they're exacting their revenge. The W, the K, all these people are doing that, and good for you. Well done, guys. Fair play, you got me, and that's great news. Well done. Apologies to CJ for dissing him on the radio. Well done. Here's my default setting now. Is just not going to trust anybody. Not going to trust anybody. Oh, man alive. And I know that Kadir tried to phone in earlier on as well. It's a strange old world, isn't it? All we're trying to do is just do a radio show. Just do like a nice, slightly naive, psychedelic radio show that's fun. And some people want to puncture the fun by being weird, and... it could be any number of people, and I say to let's get CJ on. Let's get him on because I owe him an apology because I was rude about him on air. It could be John, it could be Alex, it could be any of the callers that we've up. It could be any of these people, and they're sniffing a little bit of weakness on my part, and they're going in, and I need to just take a step back. But we'll get CJ on after the break, and I'll apologise to him because I was rude about him on air, and it wasn't him. Oh, let's get him on now. CJ, I apologise to you, brother. I assumed it was you, and it
wasn't me.
No, I know it wasn't you, and I take that back. And I said some very mean things about you,
right.
CJ. So I take that back.
Away. When you said what you said, I was like, that wasn't me.
Well, you're very gracious because I was very rude about you, and I, of course, humbly apologise, and I take everything back, buddy.
Well, I knew when, if I just let you know that, by the way, that wasn't me. I literally just got screenshots of me sent email account.
No, listen, you don't need to explain. No, I totally know it's not you. Now you've said that, and I can only humbly apologise for my rudeness.
Where did it come to, the email?
Where did it come to? It came to Iain at IainLee.com. But there's someone paying silly buggers, and it could be any number of people.
If when it comes up, it should tell you the email address if we said that. But my email address is cassigus@hotmail.com.
Don't give it now. You're going to get loads of people faking your email address, you muppet, and sending you all kinds of filth. But you'll probably love it. You'd love a bit of filth.
I wouldn't mind, but I made that clear. I know when I'm being an idiot like yesterday, we're being melodramatic.
You were being a little bit melodramatic.
I know. I had put my hands up, and I admit that I was being an idiot. Drank like 10 cans of beer, and I thought, and then this morning, I'm fine now, but I woke up this morning like, oh, Christ's sake, CJ.
Yeah, well, but listen, we're cool, brother. We're cool.
Okay,
that's fine. Well, how's the not drinking going?
No, funnily enough, I got to my 10 can and I poured it after, put it down the sink. I was like, I'm not enough.
So you only had 9. There we go. Well, that's progress.
9 and a bit, but no. Yeah, but what's great about the drinking thing, I've learned to sort of not do the binging thing now, which is fantastic. So I get to a point and go, I can't be bothered with that.
Listen, we all struggle. I fell off the wagon the other week.
I know,
After 13 years, it wasn't the booze either, but you know, these things happen, and you do what you want to do, but I'm desperately chasing after that wagon again, seeing if I can hitch another ride on there because
my friend came round with something called cannabis oil. I thought I'd try that out, and that was interesting.
Well. Well, just be careful that you... I don't know if you heard the Pot Song by Neil Diamond earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing me off, because I thought, that's just so surreal.
Well, but my only suggestion would be just be careful you don't replace one thing with something else. That's
absolutely. Well, it was drank it in tea, of all things.
Oh, dear God.
Cups of tea with cannabis oil.
Well, be careful, brother. That's all I'm going to say. All right, CJ, nice one.
Thank you, Ian.
Bye-bye. Ta-ta. 03444991000, this is Talk Radio.
Dead of Night discourse for disco queens.
I'm related to Jedwood and Dolly Parton.
Dairy farmers and distant fathers.
Yeah, whatever.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Doing lots of things that we don't know about, we can't control.
On Talk Radio.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's go to Damien. Good evening, Damien.
Hi, Ian, you okay?
I'm all right, thank you, Damien. What have you got for us?
No, not much. I'm a truck driver. Spoke to you before, and my mate doing my heading tonight, so I can't speak to him.
Right.
My other mate's off sick.
Yes.
So I thought, who could I phone? Because I've got no one else. So I thought I'd phone you.
Well, you've chosen me. Well, I feel honoured. I feel blessed. I feel thrilled.
Well, I phoned up really as well to thank you for something. You were a few months ago. You put me on to Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah. Of course, you hadn't watched it before.
I've caught up. It's fantastic. It's one of the greatest things ever.
It's brilliant. Although there's a new series, and I started watching the new series, and I gave up 15 minutes into it because I found it not very funny.
I thought it was all right, but that laddie David is just me.
Well, yeah.
I'm only 41 and he's 70 odd, but he's just me.
Yeah,
his life's me.
I know exactly what you mean. My wife would watch it and go, "Well, that's you," because just getting upset about people cutting in the line and things like that.
But he's right.
Of course, he's right. Of course, he's absolutely right.
Everyone's punishing him, and he's doing nothing wrong. But if Leon, his friend, the black guy, Laddie Black, is Leon Black.
I don't remember.
He lives with him.
That's one of the late. I can't remember. That's one of the late series. But yeah.
He's the funniest character ever. I don't know how they got away with it, but he's the funniest dude on the telly ever.
It's so how many series have you seen?
I'm up to this latest series, so I've seen them all, but I've binge watched them.
The Michael J. Fox series.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that is just with the mock, laughing at the whole embarrassment around the Parkinson's and things like that. That's an incredible series.
It's kind of a little bit uncomfortable, but who knows what's going on? Yeah. I don't know.
It's a great one. Well, I'm glad you've. So where are all your people you would normally talk to at 12:20 on a Wednesday night? Where are they?
Well, we're all truck drivers, so we all keep each other company as we're driving our trucks up and down the country.
Do you still use CB radio?
No, come on, man.
Oh, mate. I suppose you do it on your mobile phones.
Bluetooth.
Oh.
Bluetooth.
But then you can't. You can't eyeball a sexy lady trucker for a 69er.
Come on.
Have I got the CB language correct there?
I've got no idea. This is something to do. I don't associate with all that. Okay. That's years ago.
Oh.
But anyway, my mate Barry, he's off sick.
Yeah.
And Shane's just pissing me off. Sorry about that. I shouldn't say that. he's just arguing with everything I say tonight. So I can't
why is Shane arguing with you? What's he arguing about?
I don't know. If I say it's dark, he'll say it's light. If I say he'll say it's just.
And is he always like that, or is he just being a bit like that tonight?
I think it's because we both speak to Barry separately, and we've just got no one else to speak to, so we're just speaking to each other too much.
Speaking to each other, okay. Well, I apologise. And are you in your truck now?
I'm in my truck now, yeah.
Very quiet, your truck.
It's modern Bluetooth technology, isn't it?
Modern, right, is it modern Bluetooth? Because we get quite a lot of truckers that phone us up, and it's very, very noisy. I mean, really noisy in their truck. But I'm listening to your truck, Damien. I can't hear a thing.
My missus bought me an expensive Bluetooth, like 50 quid worth.
Right, OK, well, let's have a listen.
Hang on, Nick. Hear that?
Oh, no, he must be in a truck. He's just honked his horn.
No, surely a truck horn goes...
That was definitely a truck horn. That wasn't a small family car. That was definitely a truck horn. Well,
the window. There you go. There's the window open. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
I've shut it again.
I don't buy a word of it. All right, David.
I'm really sorry for my boring call and all that, but I just wanted to join in.
It's nice to talk to you, mate. I've enjoyed. It's not been boring at all. It shows what a weeknight we've had. This has been one of the highlights of the show tonight.
Well, you always say you've got no plan or anything, so
No.
I thought I can say what I want. Really.
No, nice one, buddy. I appreciate it.
Are you sleeping in a lay-by tonight, Damien?
Oh, no, going home. No, I don't do that stuff.
I see a load of them on my way home. There's like a lay-by near me, and they just all like pulled up one behind the other. And I wonder if they ever talk to each other.
Yep.
Well, you know what Clarkson's opinion was of all them, and I shared it really.
What? Doggers?
Well, yeah, dodgy people.
Dodgy
doggers.
All right.
Want to sleep in a truck? Right.
All right, Damien. Ta-ta. Thank you very much. Let's go to Ray. Good evening, Ray.
Good evening, Ian. Good evening, Cass.
Good evening, Ray.
I listen quite a lot. I'm sure David's called in before.
No, I mean, I don't. I'm not totally sure. I think he's just got one of those voices.
Well, he sounds like. Do you remember the duo Sam and Mark? He sounds like Mark.
I don't know. I don't know what we did on the show an hour ago, let alone weeks ago. So I don't know.
A couple of other things. Eccentric. You're talking about eccentric pop stars.
Oh yeah, right. Are there any now that Marky Smith is dead? Are there any rock and roll eccentrics walking this earth?
Iggy Pop.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you Iggy. Yeah, definitely.
What, even though he's selling insurance now?
Yeah, no, I don't think advertising necessarily negates from the eccentricity. But is he eccentric now? He certainly was eccentric in the 70s and 80s. Is Iggy Pop eccentric now? Because he's like Alice Cooper now, isn't he? Kind of old.
A golfer.
I think he's still a bit bonkers.
Okay, no, I'll give you Iggy Pop. Yeah, go on, we'll have that.
And another one, although she's not a rock star, Lady Gaga.
No,
she's not. Have you seen that documentary?
No.
She's really stayed.
Yeah, it's all very. Her eccentricity is very, very contrived.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very, very contrived. There's nothing, it's all worked out almost by a mathematical formula. There's nothing, there's nothing spontaneous within that.
Oh, I've fallen for it.
Yep, you hook, line, and indeed sinker.
And you were talking the other night about why do people phone into radio shows?
Yeah.
Well, the main reason I've phoned in, I listened to one of your calls earlier, and he's bonkers, and that's Jonathan.
Yeah. Well, our radio show sort of sits on the fringe of these things. And I sort of get why people would phone this, because it's different and it's silly and it's dumb, and people can phone in and say that they're feeling suicidal, or they know what they know that the Earth is flat or whatever. But I am slightly. It's always perplexed me as to why people would phone up a radio show that was talking about Brexit, for example, and why. Do you know what? Brexit's not a great example. Let me change that. Talking about Donald Trump, okay? Why people would phone up and say, yeah, sorry, you're talking about Donald Trump. I just want to say that I think he's doing a great job. What does the caller get out of going on air and giving their opinion on Donald Trump? Nothing. I mean, well, they must get something, but do they think they are changing people's minds? Do they think, one way or the other? Do they think that they will be able to end his presidency? Do they think that the president will hear it? And I just wonder what they get out of it. I get what the broadcaster gets out of it. They get out of it filler. They get out of it free content. But the person calling in, is it just... I can only think it soothes their ego, that it's got to be an ego thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's people like hearing their own voice.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that it is just... It's as simple as that their ego is satisfied knowing that tens of thousands of people have heard them make a point that really is a drop in the ocean of pointless points.
The ones that really, I'm curious about are the ones that go from station to station.
Yeah.
You know, they've got no loyalty to any one show. It's not that the one show is particularly, pressed a button for them. They're kind of doing a little tour on the phone. And you do hear the same voices up and down the country, We had one at Three Counties mental. She phoned up so often, they ended up phoning her up as a flipping expert half the time, and it just drive me nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Ray, thank you very much.
Lovely.
Ta-ta. 03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Another 30 minutes of madcap late-night phone-in mayhem. If you want to take part, you can call in about absolutely anything you want, dear listener. This is the late-night alternative on Talk Radio.
Tales of mystery and imagination on the radio show that does things differently.
Dolly Parton, I listen to a record all day long.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I'm a nut job, but not that kind of nut job.
On Talk Radio.
Honest to God, it's the new Breaking Bad.
Oh, no.
James, you enjoy your food. Last 30 minutes of the show, we're going to take calls straight to air. 03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We do this from time to time when we're feeling a little bit lazy, a little bit skittish, a little bit discombobulated. Normally you'll phone up, you'd speak to, well, it's James tonight, it could be Sam, it could be any number of people. They will take your name and number and call you back. When we take calls straight to air, it doesn't work like that. I just sit here in front of the screen and you say... you call in, and when the calls come in, I touch the screen and you come on. You can do anything you want, say anything you want. Don't swear, don't be libelous, because we will have to cut you off. We've got a 7-second delay, and don't be Sam Wilkins. We know it's you. 03444991000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, this is the only part of the show where we do not call you back. And sometimes... it's exactly what we need at 12:31 on a Wednesday evening when the vibe is very, very strange. Sometimes it's exactly what we need. And I think that the calls straight to air, the madness, the silliness, the stupidness stupidity would be perfect at this time of night. So call in, give us a call. You can phone up, you can do absolutely anything you want. And while we're waiting for you to call in, I shall go through the newspapers. The Duke of Cambridge lambasted. Oh, let's take this call, shall we? Hello, caller.
Hello, mate.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Kath.
Yeah, who's this?
Just want to tag along. Not really got nothing. Just...
yeah. What's your name?
Dominic.
Sorry?
Dominic.
Dominic. And where are you calling from, Dominic?
That's personal.
Yes, it is personal, isn't it?
Been quite one.
Yeah. And why are you calling from a withheld number, Dominic?
Well, I don't know who you are.
Sorry?
I don't know who you are. I'm not giving you my number.
Okay. We'll wait. Because he's not disconnected. You still there? You still there, Sam? We'll wait. Because he's not disconnected. I can wait all night. Well, until 1 o'clock when Paul Ross comes in. You still there, Sam? He's calling us. Are you still there, Sam? Hello, caller?
My name's not Sam.
Isn't this great? Is this as uncomfortable for you at home as it is for us here? Still not disconnected. What's your name then? So he's putting the phone down, but it's not disconnecting. So every time he picks the phone, I don't know why, it's one of these quirks of things that sometimes happens. So when he picks up the phone, he's still connected. So you can hear the phone's down, and then you'll hear it pick up again in a minute. You're dialing our number again. Why do you keep calling our phone number? Hello, Talk Radio. He's dialing. You can hear him dial. It's 0344. He's dialing. Hello, Talk Radio. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello.
Didn't ring.
No, we just went. It just went straight to air. What would you like to say, caller? $499-1000. Hello, Talk Radio. Do you want to post a message on his Facebook page saying, "Just be careful, son," something like that?
I can't. I can message him.
Yeah, please do. Say, Ian's producer here. Just be careful, son. Something like that. Listen, you're not disconnecting from us. What would you like to say, caller? Hello, Dominic? Sam? Hello? Hang on a minute. Oh, YouTube isn't working. I want to read this really interesting story about the Duke of Cambridge, actually. But I'm enjoying this because this is uncomfortable, and it's very, very rarely you get something uncomfortable like this. On radio. Let's go to line one. Line one, you're on the wireless. The thing is, he's actually, each time I tell you what, we'll cut him off. And let's see if he rings in, because each time he's actually dialing our number. This is very, very uncomfortable, isn't it? It's making you feel uncomfortable, dear listener? It's making me feel very, very uncomfortable. While we're waiting for that, let's go to line two. Line two, you're on the wireless.
Hello, you two. You all right?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
You're looking lovely tonight, Cass. Flipping Cass.
Thanks.
Dirty boy.
Yeah.
Come
and
on.
you are, Ian. You're looking dishevelled.
This isn't the
No, that's
president's.
the wrong word,
This
isn't
isn't
it?
the president's club or whatever that thing was.
No, I'm not wearing matching underwear.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. You
I
don't
had to
go
block
too far.
someone today, right? And I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Hang on a second. Just stay there, caller, because this guy's calling in again. Hello, line two. You're on the wireless. Is that Sam? Or is it Dominic? And I noticed he's been calling up all night, this person, and James got bored of it after a while, rightfully so. He's still not disconnected.
Yeah?
Hello?
Hi, hello, Iain.
You're on the radio. Who's this?
Dominic.
Okay, Dominic. And you're still calling from the old withheld number. What would you like to say, Dominic? So, he's okay. This is great, isn't it?
Gosh.
Jeez, it's painful, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Hello, caller. Yeah, Dominic? Dominic? Dominic?
Hello.
Hello, Dominic? Okay. Yeah, I mean... Sorry, Danny, I do apologise.
That's okay. If he's pretending that he's not all there, but if he wasn't all there, he wouldn't be dialing the phone so quickly, would he? He knows what he's doing.
He knows how to dial. He knows how to dial.
I rang up because I'm in a bit of a food quandary at the moment.
Yeah, go
on. I've just finished doing some editing, and I've not eaten all day. And now, do I cook gammon steaks? They're going to take half hour.
Yeah.
Or I've got some southern fried frozen chicken, fresh chicken it was. That's going to take 40 minutes, or do I just have some soup?
Oh, just have something. You don't want to spend any more than 10 minutes preparing food at this time of night.
I don't.
No, you don't. You don't. And you don't want to eat heavy before you go to bed, mate.
I won't be going to bed until about 6.
Oh, in that case, well, if you're working through the night, I'd go for the chicken.
Don't work.
I'd go for...
No, I'm just very lazy. The offspring's gone to university, so my life is my own now.
Oh, in that case, have the chicken.
Yeah?
Yeah, do the chicken.
Have some chips.
Do the chicken and chips and give Paul Ross a call in about an hour or so and let him know how it's going.
And do you think maybe having processed peas is pushing it out a little bit too far?
Oh, I love the processed... I like the mushy peas.
Oh, I like to have non-mushy, then mush a few, then I get the best of both worlds.
Oh, you know how to
Living the
live.
dream. Thank you for that, Danny. Let's take this one. Hello, caller. You're live on Talk Radio.
Hello, Iain. Oh.
Hey, Sam. How you doing, man?
A deep sigh.
When he does the high voice, I recognise him. This is Talk Radio. Let's go to a break.
Experience the unconventional.
Hello?
The unpredictable.
Don't you think that's a bit weird?
And the completely unorthodox.
It was my birthday.
With rule-free Iain Lee.
I was just trying to generate a bit of content.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Hate alarm clocks. Hate going to work.
On Talk Radio.
All I'll say is, right, Sam, we know it's you, because what's just happened on Twitter, and if I were you, I'd check your messages on Facebook as well, buddy. I went to the police once, took you to court, happily do it again, buddy. And this time I suspect you won't just get community service. That's all I'm saying. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. Let's log the last. James, if you could log all of those calls that have been made, and also that last 30 minutes, if you can give me the audio, and we'll send that on to the police. Let's go to line 1. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hello.
Hello, line 1. You're on the air.
Hi. I just had to phone up and say I am having such a great time laying here just listening to you.
You're a very, very sick individual then. That's what you are.
Oh, no, it's been so funny. I mean, like, the moo cart thing was just, it cracked me up.
Describe the scene. Are you in bed? Are you on the sofa? Are you lying on the floor? What's going on?
I'm on the sofa.
Oh, mate. Imagine lying on the sofa at 1:45 on a Wednesday night, Thursday morning. That is... that. And should you have gone up to bed? Or are you... Why aren't you in bed?
I probably should have, like, hours ago.
Mate, this is it. Then this is my job. My work here is done. Then in that case, if we've managed to keep, and let's be honest, compared to everyone else tonight, an intelligent young person, if we've managed to keep you on the sofa instead of you moving upstairs to bed, you may live in a flat. I don't know. I don't want to make presumptions about your housing. Hey, I tell you what. You know, we've been playing bits from this Art Garfunkel audiobook, right? And he's nuts, right? And he used a brilliant phrase that I'm going to start using, right? What do you call... Catherine, how would you describe... You've got two houses that are joined together, but they're not joined on the other side. What would you describe that as?
Semi.
Give me the full thing.
A semi-detached.
Right. He calls it a semi-attached.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that's an Americanism or if that's a Garfunkelism, but I'm going to start calling them semi-attached.
Did he say semi or did he say semi?
He said semi, I think. I think he said semi, yeah, semi-attached. He's anglicised. Well, listen, I'm glad you're enjoying... I don't even... What's your name, caller?
Ebony.
Ebony, it's a fantastic name, and you are
Thank
certainly
you.
you win the prize. If we were handing out medals, you'd win gold for being best, nicest caller of the evening. Would you agree, Catherine?
Yes.
Well, you, Ebony, you've won gold.
She's certainly the most horizontal caller.
Thanks for calling, Ebony.
Thanks.
Ta-ta. She was nice.
Glad someone's enjoying it.
Oh, God. Imagine lying on the sofa. 12:45 on a Wednesday night, Thursday. You think, I really should go upstairs to bed, but let me just listen to another 5 minutes of this. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about, dear listener. Oh, and what a surprise. Now we've called out this person on Facebook and on Twitter, they've stopped calling in. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny, Sam? Isn't that funny? Has he replied to you or blocked you yet on Facebook?
No.
Okay. Check your Facebook messages, buddy. 03444991000. Let's go to line 3. Line 3, you're on the wireless.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, line 3.
I was freaked out a wee bit and reminded by something with that creepy call earlier.
Yes.
The other night after watching your show, I phoned the police, not after watching your show, but after going on Periscope.
Yes.
Couldn't sleep, so I thought, I want to watch a beach, so I went on. And it was a beach, Cottesloe near Perth. I was watching this person live streaming from a beach. And, because, it was the middle of the day in Perth in Australia. Yes. Anyway, so it was good for a few minutes. Yes. Then suddenly, you start saying things like, you guys should have enough viewing so far. And he was zooming into young girls.
What?
Young 14, 15.
Hang on a second, I don't know what... Did I miss a bit of this?
A bloke on a beach in Australia. Periscoping.
Oh, okay, right, sorry. I thought it was like a webcam. Okay, so there's a guy periscoping. Okay.
Live stream, yeah.
Yeah.
So I only found Periscope recently, so,
yes.
And anyway, so I was just thinking about the importance of phoning the police.
Yes.
And that's what I did, so Google. I phoned the police, I got the police station there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to say that the guy's no longer on Periscope, and he had the same name on Twitter.
But did you see that the police approaching him on the beach?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh.
No.
But I mean, that's great. And Periscope and Twitter are great at stuff like that. Periscope in particular. But he can get another Periscope and another Twitter account.
Yeah, but hopefully they've done something with him, which is something else I want to mention. These weirdos.
Yes.
This is often not the only thing they do. About 4 years ago, I had a problem because I do online stuff for other things.
Yes.
And it's random people that come in. It's recovery stuff.
Yes.
And again, it was someone in Darwin, Australia.
Yes, those
and they
Australians.
ended up in jail, not just because of what they were doing to me or the groups of women that were in the group that I was doing online.
Yes.
They had called something that was similar to a recovery hotline in Australia,
yes.
something like 500 times in a week, and was doing all sorts of heavy breathing and weird stuff.
Yes.
That guy ended up in jail. So often these people are doing things to other people that it all adds up and, becomes a court case, and they get locked up, and
there we
the
go.
women well should.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to line 4. 4, you're on the wireless.
Hello, it's Damien again. I'm sorry for calling back so soon. You okay?
You still trucking, Damien?
I'm still trucking. I've just realised something that you could help me. Can I ask you for a favour?
Of course you can, mate.
Right.
Can I have an out time, please, James? I know it's approaching, but it'd be good. Yes, go on.
Just quickly,
Yes.
Are you into zombie books? Are you into the zombie genre?
What, of books?
Yeah.
The only zombie book I read was World War Z. And you've got to say Z because it sounds like 3. You can't say Z. I read that, and it was a much better book than it was film. I've not read any other zombie books.
I'm just saying, a friend of mine is an author, and he's written zombie books. So I was just going to give him a little plug for you, if you didn't mind. He writes the zombie books, the zombie apocalypse, from the British perspective, because it's always Americanised, isn't it?
Oh. But, all right, let's go on to Amazon and let's see this guy. Let's give him a plug and let's see what ratings he's got. So what's the book called?
Look, it's Luke Duffy is the author. You can find him like that, Luke Duffy, and When There's No More Room in Hell.
When There's No More Room in Hell, Part 1, a zombie novel. It gets 4.5 stars out of 57 customer reviews. So I'm going to do what I would do for anybody, go straight to the 1-star review.
Yeah, that's what I do.
This book is so badly written. This is by a guy called Damien. This book is so badly written that I had to put it down after the first 3 chapters. Many sentences start with an and, but, or a he, as if it were written by a child.
Oh, come on. You're just killing the guy.
I'm now going to go to a 5-star review. Best series I've read in years. Great characterisation. Now read it multiple times. And it's got to be said, there's only 1-star review. There's 2%, and 75% of them are 5 stars, and 19% are 4 stars. So that's got to be great.
That was his first series, by the way, and he was a novel author. He's just learning the trade. He's the first. He's from an army background. But I thought I'd give him a bit of a plug, if you didn't mind. Luke Duffy and Luke Duffy Books.
Is he a trucker?
No. He's actually a former bodyguard.
Who's he bodyguarded? Who's he nearly taken?
It's the Iraq sector, you know what I mean? He was going over. He
I never got into the Iraq sector. I just thought they were always overrated as a band. Damien, thank you very much indeed. Let's go to line 5. 5, you're on the wireless.
We'd like to thank everybody for making it a wonderful stay. We'd like to thank the Rolling Stones for being a great group.
It's the Monkees.
We'd like to thank the Mamas and Papas for making it good. We'd like to thank Loving Spoonful for making it happy. But most of all, we'd like to thank the Beatles for starting it all up for us.
That's Mike Nesmith in a record studio, radio station in 1967. That's from the last episode of the first season, Monkeys on Tour. And it's also before he had his tonsils taken out. And you can tell because you listen, the first like few episodes, first half of the season, his voice is a bit throaty, and then he's not in an episode, and then he comes back and his tonsils are out, and he's yeah, I know, man. 03444991000 is the phone number. We're taking calls straight to air. I realise that the taking the call straight to air is. I feel it's as a trick. It's becoming slightly old hat, and I'm using it a little bit too often these last couple of weeks. I just feel that it does feel like there is something lacking from the show at the moment, and it's totally down to me, and I don't quite know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm not giving the show. Maybe I do know what it is. I think it's the ennui of life. It's the ennui of life. Is I'm allowing it to filter down into the show, and it's very subtle. It's a very subtle thing with all this stuff that's going on, and I need to somehow get my equilibrium back into place. I know it means nothing to most of you guys, but to me it means something. Let's go to line 6. 6, you're on the wireless.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
and me. Raggy doll, raggy doll, raggy doll, made him perfectly. So if you got a bump on your nose or lump on your toes, do not despair. Be like the raggy doll and say I just don't care. 'Cause raggy doll, raggy doll, raggy doll.
Etc. Line 5, you're on the wireless.
Hello, is that you, Ian?
Yes, it is.
Oh, primarily, I'd like to say I did like you in the jungle.
Thank you very much indeed.
Also, I'd try and educate you on something, even though you're an articulate man. I'd try and teach you know the chip shop you were on about earlier.
Yes, the 24-hour chippy.
There is, yes, there is a 24-hour chip shop that exists, and it's Junction 3 of the M5. It used to be a petrol station. Now it's just a drive-through chip shop. 24-hour.
Whoa. A drive-through chip shop?
Oh, yes, just like in McDonald's. It used to be a petrol station, and now you drive through and queue up. It's just by back of Alzoin. I can't think of it.
And are they? Is it like proper? Is it proper chip shop chips, not kebab shop chips or Chinese shop chips? It's proper chip shop chips.
No, it's a proper.
And they give it to you through the window of the car.
No, you drive up at the window, you order it, then you go to the next window, pay for it, and then you can park up and either deliver it or you can go and sit inside.
Oh, mate.
Drive-through chip shop.
Where? Tell us where this is again.
It's by Halzoe.
Yeah.
And it's, let me get it right, I think it's Junction 3 of M5. It's by the Macro.
Oh.
There's a Macro. Well, there are the big, wholesaling places available.
That is a real bombshell to end the show on, that somewhere in this great country of ours, despite everything that's going on, there's a drive-through chip shop.
And after one of that crazy caller earlier, I think we needed a bit of normality, the good old English fish and chips, sir.
Mate, thank you. What a great call. Thank you, buddy. That was superb. Line 7, you're on the wireless. We can't hear it, line 7. We still can't hear it. It sounds like one of the bootlegs I bought in the 80s. What is that supposed to be? Is he watching a porno?
She wants to talk. Love in the field. In her fortress. And talk, wish. But we just let this pass. Roll over.
Oh, is that Game of Thrones?
Or is it the one with Mackenzie in the Sky Britannia?
I don't
Mackenzie in it. Anyway, I don't know. We're done here. Listen, at 5 o'clock, you've got James Max coming on. That's got to be worth a listen if you're up and about. But coming up next, it's the one and only Mr. Paul Ross. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you very much, James. Always a pleasure to see you on the other side of the glass. Don't forget, you can download our podcast from wherever you may be on iTunes or your usual podcast providers, dear listener. We'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock. Paul Ross is coming up after the news at 1. Ta-ta.